The opinions expressed of this show are for entertainment purposes and should not be misconstrued or interpreted as fact. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can. Kenny Can wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
Bouquett, you son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can Smoking Mirrors. Director 97 home. That is the way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the other auto custodian. Billy Friedrich. Jones one, all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Fired! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
1, 2, 1, 2, from the cloth of Peter Low Shack. Legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a Dom. For the young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, when we all PSR Pub Sports Radio Bizarre. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this but they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, betting with the bag and you love it. We want a top 10, we above it. Let's check.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, May 22nd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We have a massive show today that I'm pumped up about. We're going to start with NHL. We're going to be very quick. Bobano's joining us a little earlier than usual so that we can cap this hockey game in time for us to talk Major League Baseball. That first game is at 12:35, and I have bet the first 3 under 2 at even money and the full game under 7.5 minus 120. There's weather issues. I almost bet the first 7 because I was a little concerned the game would finish. In fact, looking back at it, I kind of wish that I did, and I did not, unfortunately. But I have doubled up there. I'm also on the first 5 over 4.5. It was expensive. The 5 I could have got for even money. The first 5 over 4.5 I got for minus 130. It was minus 130 at 365, minus 129 offshore. I just sent it in to the local. So we're going to be moving quickly. We're not coming off of a winning day. Disappointing. Those of you who stuck with the Pacers, congratulations. With a few minutes left, I was like, oh, man, hope the guys are going to be listening to what I said about these teams not in playoff mode, and then it blew up in my face. So congratulations to all of you guys who stuck to your guns and backed the Pacers. What a wildly exciting basketball game. Thank God we weren't on Operation Garcia for that one. Jesus. So congratulations there. I went 0-1 in NBA. I went 1-2 in WNBA, and that was, just betting the Sparks wrong. If I had just taken the first half of full game, I would have cashed. Shout out to Ronnie Crawford, who was on them full game. I stayed off the NHL. Obviously, that was phenomenal, exciting and phenomenally interesting. We're going to talk all about the Stars' 5 goals in the third period to take that 6-3 victory. In Major League Baseball, I just needed that Texas-New York Yankees game to go to extras. 4-6. I mean, even if I went 5-5, I would have lost some vig. There were some juicy spots that I lost. We'll go over all of that here shortly. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to get into National Hockey League here right away. I'm just going to copy and paste action here. MLB trend from Big O, 58 unders, 32 overs. And I was on overs yesterday, which didn't go great. But the Colorado over went. The Angels Athletics over cashed. The Boston New York Mets over did not. That's a great trend. Thank you, Big O, my man. Justin McKelvey, Stacks play of the day is in. Is that the over 9, Justin? Because it just says 9 there. I imagine it is. If you could let me know if that is the case. I'm going to keep copying and pasting here the chat. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. We'll have a Bobano here shortly so that we can ensure that we get to you guys and cap that Yankees-Rangers game with proper time. And we have a third Stacks play today. It says, pretty sure Stacks number 2 going to get rained out. That's the Orioles game. Stacks number 3. Let's get this here. Ant Edwards, 25+. I almost moved on his over 26.5. I probably should have. I know he said he's going to shoot more. I just have this bias from doing the same thing a week ago. Doing the same thing. And no worries, Justin McKelvey. Gorky in the house. Blue Jays +1.5 in Sweden moneyline, and Arnaldi moneyline to beat Djokovic in Geneva. Thank you for sharing that with us, Gorky. My friend Billy Friedrich. Billy, I was reading yours. Look, I said to everybody that your Stacks was game 2. Now, I knew it was game 2. So I think you should still count it. I mean, there was no confusion from our side of things. We knew that you were talking game 2, so I'd add it. I'd add it to your record. We talked about that being your move being on game 2 here. Also moving on, Florida, Carolina goes to OT. Thinks Panthers win it in overtime. I can't wait to talk about that game here with Bobano. Let me just make sure I got Pig Milk, a play of the day. Milwaukee, Pittsburgh under 5 here. And let's roll. Here we go. We have Spooner joining us for the second hour. So it's Bobano for the first hour for NHL and these MLB games. Then we're going to move on to Spooter joining us for the rest of the MLB card. And he'll be in person in game 2. Oh, that'll be so much fun. Perky in the house, ready to get to work. Slow Jams. Arsenault says, epic choke job by the Knicks. One for the ages. It was nuts. I mean, nuts. I mean, look at it. This is the tweet about it. I did take a picture of it so I could remember it forever. NBA teams were 0-970 in the playoffs over the last 27 years when trailing by 14 points or more with under 2:50 left in regulation. Unbelievable. Now they are 1-970. Unbelievable. Action Jackson ready to go. Barry Roselle, Steve G. Oilers plus 1.5 look good. Then Edmonton shat the bed. They sure did not. Gorky calling them a two-man team, and I was saying, I don't think they're a two-man team. But the depth sure showed last night. We are ready to rock. Let me see if I've got everybody's action here. If I missed it, we got Spenny Penny Bombs with his action. I'm going to keep copying and pasting the action here from the chat as we roll through here. But thank you guys for joining us here on this Thursday, May 22nd. Let's bring on our special guest here on Thursdays. Star of the Ice, guys. Star of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel and the NBA OG show. Please welcome from Canada's black and yellow steel town, Hamilton, Ontario, our friend Mr. Ian Cameron to the telecast. Bobano, how are you, my man?
Excellent. Looking forward to this Thursday. We got MLB. We got a couple of playoff games tonight, so excited.
Yes, and you went 2-0 in MLB last week. I'm looking forward to watch you heat up here on the program. Just copying and pasting Daniel Hernandez's action. I will keep copying and pasting as we go. TC off a 3-in-1 day. Mr. Spenny Penny Bombs with more action for us in the association. Let's get to work, Bobano, my man. We have a game 2 here. Florida Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes, East final. I was very confident in Florida in game 1. We almost doubled down for the series, but I thought, you know what, I'll save the double down just in case they lose game 1, and then I can move on them to win the series. The problem is I also took the under 5.5. It was a problem. It screwed me that day because not only was I on the Thunder, but I was on the Thunder double result. So I lost the double result, which was expensive. Cashed under mine. So it was not a day I was proud of. And I want to make it back here in the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina, where our guy Billy Friedrich will be live and in person. Let's take a look at this line history here for this one. I had my script here. Now, I know that the Panthers aren't one for scripts. They will dictate how they think things will. I mean, you can have all the plans in the world how you want to bet a situation, and the Panthers will screw it up. We know that the Hurricanes have lost 13 straight games in the Eastern Conference Finals. We know they've lost 5 straight games to the Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals. This line opened up with Carolina minus 125. They're now minus 127. This total here is a 5.5, and it's minus 125 to the under. That makes me feel good. I got minus 110 on the under. I went back to the well. But I told myself here, and I think it's important to do this, that this is it. If I lose the under here, I'm going to let it go. I let go totals. I don't really like unders in Florida, even though we've seen a couple of them hit, especially that game 6 against Toronto. But I am on the Hurricanes minus 1 at plus 134. And yes, it's risky. And yes, I understand if people don't agree with it. Sergei Bobrovsky, 2.29 goals against average, 905 save percentage in the playoffs. Freddie Anderson, 1.74 goals against average, 919 save percentage now that he allowed 5 goals and only made 15 saves in game 1. The Panthers, we talked about their special teams. Their penalty killing has improved. And after scoring a couple goals on the Hurricanes, which we'll get into on the power play, they now have the best penalty killing in the National Hockey League in the playoffs thus far. We also know that teams that win game 1 of a best-of-7 series have a .681 winning percentage. And this year, in the playoffs, the teams that have won game 1 are 9-3. Since the beginning of the 2023 playoffs, the Florida Panthers have played 58 playoff games, 10 more than the next closest team, the Edmonton Oilers. I don't feel like they're exhausted either. I don't feel that way about this club. They're 21-10 on the road, 38-20 overall. They've been very good. They're battle tested. All 4 of these teams are battle tested. Only 3 of these teams, have won games in conference finals. That's the only thing is we know that Carolina has made the playoffs 7 straight years. Has won a series 7 straight years with Rod the Bod Brindamore, but they don't seem to succeed here in the conference finals. Bobrovsky is heating up. You don't want that. He's given up 6 goals in his past 5 games. The Panthers are heating up. They've won 5 of their last 6. And that was Carolina's first loss in 6 home games in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I was not afraid to fade that. And I'm excited to back it here. And again, I understand if people are going to be on the other side. We saw the depth of the Panthers. Verhaeghe, goal and assist. Rodriguez, Nosek each had 2 assists. Ekblad, Greer, Sammy Bennett, Luostarinen all scored. Florida has 12 goals in the playoffs from defensemen. None of the other 3 conference finalists have got more than 8. The player who's really rocked me, and I guess I started keeping a closer eye on him, when he took the slap shot late in the regular season. That was a very questionable slap shot when the game was over, clearly trying to hit the opponents. Nico Mikkola has been phenomenal. And I hate to say it, that you do see a little bit of Hedman out there in him, because Hedman's the number 1 overall pick and Mikkola is not. The Panthers also got goals from their 3rd and 4th line. If they're going to get goals from their 3rd and 4th lines, you're going to lose when you play them. They scored 2 goals on the power play. That was a penalty kill that had stopped. Had only allowed 2 goals on 30 opportunities. It was impressive. That's the number of power play goals the Carolina Hurricanes had allowed in the first 10 playoff games. 5 goals against Anderson, who'd only allowed 12 goals in his first 9 playoff games. In their past 3 road games, they have outscored the opposition 17-4. You may ask, why are you betting into this? Panthers have scored at least 3 goals in 6 straight road games. That's the second longest run in franchise history, behind a 7-game stretch in 2023. 38 road goals, the most by any team in the postseason, 18 more than the next closest team being the Edmonton Oilers. They're rolling. And I understand that the Canes have lost 13 straight in the conference finals. I get it. Now, what did Carolina do here? Well, they had more high-danger shots on goal than Florida. They had a better offensive zone percentage by a long shot, 46.7 to 36.9. They heavily outshot the Florida Panthers 33-20. So I need Freddie Anderson to be better. 3 high-danger goals allowed on 5 high-danger shots faced. That's terrible. He still leads goalies in high-danger save percentage. The Hurricanes are 5-0 in games when they score first in the postseason, 3-3 when they don't. I need the Hurricanes to score first. They were 37-2 when they did that in the regular season. Now, and the same with Florida. Florida 7-2 when they score first, 2-2 when they don't. I think that the Hurricanes outplayed the Panthers for large swaths of that hockey game. They just don't have a killer instinct. Maybe this is a mistake. But I'm on the Carolina Hurricanes on the -1 line. I think they tie it up going back to Florida, and I'm on the under 5.5. Bobano, the table is being set. I can't wait to hear your plan of attack. Take it away. Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Florida and Carolina really do play a lot of similar style. They are very, as far as, they'll shoot from anywhere. They'll be hard to play against. They'll be very, very sound defensively. They're not going to have many issues with puck management, but the problem is Florida is a lot bigger as far as size is concerned than Carolina. They're just a little bit more physical than Carolina is. They're just stronger, and more importantly, they're deeper than Carolina. Like, I have very little faith in Carolina's bottom 6 matching what Florida's bottom 6 can do. What exactly did Carolina's bottom 6 do in game 1? Nothing. And then you see what Florida's bottom 6 is doing with Marchand, Lundell, and Kuhlman, Luostarinen, who's been absolutely terrific. That line's been great. And then Paul Maurice, which turned around the Toronto series in the second round, puts together Jonah Gadjevich, A.J. Greer on the 4th line together. And look at the difference and Tomas Nosek, and look at the difference it makes. That line's been incredible. They've scored in 3 of the 4 playoff games so far for the Panthers. They've been hitting everything in sight. You want to know why Toronto was worn down in Game 7 in particular? Because that 4th line is pulverizing their defense, pulverizing their blue line, hitting Tanev, hitting McCabe at every Carlo, Ekman Larson at every opportunity. And they're already doing that to Slavin and Gostisbehere. And then to make matters worse, Gostisbehere has that brain cramp moment. I don't know what the fuck he's thinking. because this is already a team that plays hard physical hockey. And now you've just pissed them off when you intentionally shoot a puck deliberately right at Brad Marchand. And I know Brad Marchand's no choir boy, okay? He's no angel. He's obviously been involved in a lot of shit over the years. But that's just a stupid move by Gostisbehere to do that. And actually a chicken shit move. It's a bad display by him. Now you just angered this Florida team more. I have not the faith that you do in Carolina to win the game. That being said, if Carolina is going to win this game, they are going to have a strong 20 minutes, and they are going to have to get an early goal. It has to happen for Carolina if they're going to win this game. They cannot wade their way into this game. They cannot, dip their toe into the waters tonight and expect to win and tie this series with Florida getting better. They have to have a strong start. And to be honest, at 5-on-5 even strength in game one, they actually did have a pretty solid first period at 5-on-5 in game one. So it's got to be Carolina getting on the board early. And if it doesn't happen and if Florida gets the first goal, I think they're in big trouble, not only in this game, but in this series. And they need a little bit from the bottom six. What's nice is that Aho gets a goal for them. I don't think he's been awesome so far in the playoffs, but it was nice to see him get a goal. We know Svechnikov's been great for them. Stankoven has been good. But at the same point in time, Carolina's got to get the first goal tonight. We know the angle in the postseason that's been very strong is taking the losing team to get a goal in the first period the next game. So I do like that. And I'm going to take Carolina first period goal minus 145, which you can get at BetMGM. I think they will get on the board. They could have gotten on the board in the first period of game one. They had their chances. Bobrovsky had to make a couple of big saves, but they were down 2-1 after the first period because penalty trouble. They couldn't kill a penalty. All of a sudden, what's happened to this vaunted Carolina penalty kill? And Florida had no problem scoring against it. That's got to change. I mean, Carolina's lived and survived and thrived as a team the last few years because their penalty kill is nails. You can't score on it. And here's Florida in game one already doing damage against that Carolina penalty kill. So that's a problem. But I do expect a fast start, a strong start, a sense of urgency because there simply has to be. Can't go down 2-0 in this series going back to Florida. But do I trust them to win the game? No, I don't. But I do like Carolina to score in the first period, minus 145. And I'm taking Florida team total for the game over 2.5 as well. That is going to be my approach. It's the only two bets I've made pregame. Florida team total over 2.5 minus 112 is the price with that. And it all goes back to the fact that Florida on the road has had no problem manufacturing offense and producing goals, none whatsoever. They have played the Florida Panthers 8 playoff games on the road so far, and one time in those 8 games have they scored fewer than 3 goals in these road playoff games. 7 of the 8 road playoff games for the Florida Panthers, they have scored 3 goals or more. They have just been doing a really good job on the road, getting that offense going. The road differential in the postseason, goal differential, is among the highest it's been in years. They've scored, and it's not even close. It just blows away the next team in the pecking order. 38 goals for Florida on the road in the playoffs. So just getting a 2.5 minus 112, team that's gotten a 7 of 8 road playoff games, to me is cheap. And it kind of goes with my thinking that it's Carolina early. And even if they do go up early and get that first period goal, Florida is never out of this game. They are going to keep playing, and they are going to wear you down in the course of 60 minutes. That's just what they do. And it wouldn't shock me if Carolina starts strong and Florida comes back and wins the game. But I'm going to go the pathway of the team total with Florida for the full game, over 2.5. So Carolina, first period goal, minus 145. Florida team total, over 2.5, minus 112.
Yeah. I love it. I love the breakdown. I get it completely. Nuke worker on the Panthers. At this point, I'm the only one that I've seen on the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm comfortable with that. Now, I'm using the excuse that they had too long of a break in between series. I think that's a fair excuse in the National Hockey League playoffs. The 38 goals that the Panthers scored in 8 road games this postseason, tied for the most in the history of the National Hockey League with the 2022 Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche. I like your action. I'm very comfortable with my action. I'm honestly, I'm not nervous about it. I think it's a great spot here. the Panthers are all business. They've shown that they're capable of doing what they did, when they swept the Hurricanes in 4 games. Remember, all of those games were 1-goal games. Johnny K joining me with the Hurricanes. Benjamin Mills says, I assume the public will be on the Canes. I don't know how you get that assumption,
No,
Benjamin.
I don't think so. No.
I don't know. Yeah, we know the public sees, they just witnessed Florida control, despite being outshot, despite being outzoned, despite being everything, control the game completely. So I'm excited. I'm very, very excited about this hockey game tonight. I'm also on the under 5.5. I beat that move by 15 cents. In saying that, if I lose it, I'm going to let go of the totals and focus on sides, which I would prefer to be doing. Avino says, what's the cap for the Yankees game? We're getting into that right now. Ricky Living joining me with the Canes. Jerry Davis is riding with you. All I've heard all day is the Panthers. Benjamin Mills says, home team down a game. 81% of the tickets on Carolina, 91% of the money on Carolina at this point. So that certainly sounds like a very, very public spot, even though I had not until a few recently heard from anybody that they were on Carolina. So we'll see, and we'll see what that ends up at come game time. But that is a surprise there that Carolina's public. I truly don't expect that to be the case. But it's even the case here on Action. Even on Action, they have 41% of tickets and 44% of cash on Florida. It's going to be fun. Timberwolves plus 7.5 for BJ. Kong saying this is a beautiful spot for Carolina. And there's our guy, Wine Time Sports, in the house. Just before, now we have 11 minutes until first pitch. It doesn't look like it's going to be pushed back. And we're going to break down this big Yankees-Rangers game right now. But just before we do, our friend Wine Time Sports is in a tough spot this morning. Last night, his grandfather died, and he was very close with his grandfather, very, very close. They had a real, special relationship. And so the Wine Time family is hurting right now. And it doesn't make it any easier when you know someone's about to die. It doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't change anything when they're actually gone. So if we could all just take a second as we head into Major League Baseball, one of the greatest friends of our channel, a Wine Time family, hurting right now, losing the patriarch of the family. And so if we could all just give Wine Time a little love and just let them know that we're there for him. And we know that it hurts. It hurts. This stuff hurts. And we love you, Wine Time.
Wine Time, yeah, no doubt. It hurts to lose any family member.
It does.
I include dogs in that too, because that I consider them family. And as a previous dog owner, it's tough. It's tough when you lose anybody. And like I said, especially in your own family. So thoughts and prayers are with you, my friend.
He's a great guy. And obviously your grandfather was a great, great man. And the relationship you guys had is so special. And you'll always have it. It'll always exist inside you, always. Let's get to work, fellas. We have 9 minutes till first pitch in New York City, Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. I could not understand why this line wasn't moving. At 6 this morning, Bobano, I was like, well, it must not be moving because people don't think the game is going to be played. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. I was like, why is this total not moving? I couldn't figure it out. It's now moving heavily. There's 6.5s on the board. The 7s are heavily juiced to the under at minus 115. For the life of me, I couldn't understand with the weather and with everything. So I bet the first 3 under 2 at plus 100. And I told you, I almost bet the first 7 under out of fear that this game wasn't going to finish 9 innings. And I still have that fear. I got the under 7.5 at minus 117. I just, I couldn't understand what was going on and why it wasn't moving, and I decided not to worry about it too much. The Yankees are at minus 144. They opened up at minus 154, so we've had to move towards Nate Eovaldi. Jerry Davis on the Yankees minus 1. SBK on the Bombers, first 5 minus a half. Justin McKelvey on the Rangers plus 132. AM on the Rangers, Yankees on the 7. A better line than I got. Look at that. He got the minus 110. The minus 110. Let's get into the weather a little bit more. I did get this off just because I was trying to not have too many tabs open. So let me just get the switch up here. We'll also get the cash flow and all of that information here. So let's be quick. Still have 8 minutes till first pitch, so don't worry about getting it in. 52 Fahrenheit, feels like 43. It's very cold. We deal with Celsius up here, but this morning when I took out of school, it was 1 degrees. It felt like 1 degrees was what it felt like out there. It's snowy conditions up here. A little warmer down south. 15.2 miles per hour in. It dies down at 14.3 miles per hour. When we get to the cash flow here, we did that. We did the line history. Cash flow, according to Wager Talk here, you have 51% of the tickets on the Rangers, but 55% of the cash on the Yankees. Look, Rodon is pitching very well right now. You have 85% of the tickets on the under and 87% of the cash. It's a very public spot. Jerry Davis's Yankees bat successful against Eovaldi. Eovaldi coming off a 6-3 loss at home versus the Astros. Wasn't on him. Just 2 hits over 5 2/3. Didn't allow a run. On the road this year, he's been very good. He's allowed 1 home run over 37 2/3. Only 6 earned runs in 37 2/3. 174 opponents batting average. Lefties are hitting 200, 571 against them. Righties just 157, 383. And then we have Carlos Rodon, who's coming off a nice home start. We got consecutive home starts. He actually hasn't been quite as well. He's been a little vulnerable at home because when they hit him, they barrel him. And, the short porch out there, 4 home runs allowed in the 28 2/3. But lefties aren't hitting them. Righties aren't hitting them. Rangers aren't hitting lefties in general. Last 30 days, 217, 604 OPS. Yankees, 258, 817 OPS versus righties. And the Rangers bullpen's been a disappointment last 30 days. 4.19 ERA, 1.39 whip. Yankees bullpen, 3.71 ERA, 1.27 whip. So remember here, you still have 6 minutes. Lots of time. We don't need to panic. We don't need to rush. Everything's fine. 6 minutes.
They don't take the bets down until first pitch, so you're okay.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Take it away, Bobano, my man. Spooner says this is Eovaldi's 23rd start versus the New York Yankees. Floor is yours, my man.
Yeah, I'm taking Texas in this spot. Team trying to avoid a sweep. Pitcher that's been awesome on the mound. I know Rodon's been good, and his numbers at Yankee Stadium have been good, and Texas is not hitting. Those are the concerns, and I totally get all the love for the under. It makes sense. Wind's blowing in. It's going to be kind of a damp, dreary day at Yankee Stadium. Certainly not hitter's weather by any stretch of the imagination, but I like this spot. I like this price. I think Texas can avoid the sweep, and there's still that little part of me that's not completely, fully trustworthy in Rodon, because Rodon can still walk people from time to time, and the long ball can get him. Meanwhile, Eovaldi, the thing that I like for him going into this start is he has not given up the home run ball. Not at all. He has been absolutely terrific as far as not giving up any homers, and that's critical when you're going to pitch here at Yankee Stadium against this New York Yankees lineup. So he's been just lights out. He's been terrific. He's been one of the best pitchers in the American League, honestly, Nathan Eovaldi. So in a spot where he's trying to be the stopper, be the guy to snap the skid, the price you're getting, plus 142 right now at Bet Online for the Texas Rangers. I will lock that in.
Bobano on the Rangers, plus 142. Plus 142. I'm on the first 3 under 2 at even money. Full game under 7.5 at minus 117. Nate Cern on the first 5 under 4.5. You have AM beating everybody's line with the minus 110. Jerry Davis, Yankees minus 1 and the under 7.5. Samit taking the under 7 for less vig situation. And I didn't get a chance to give a shout out to our friend Barry Roselle. Barry gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. Thank you, Barry, my man. Sorry, we were moving very quickly to ensure that we had time to talk hockey and then get this game capped. 4 minutes before first pitch. Bobano on the Rangers. I'm on the under 7.5 and the first 3 under 2. And if I could go back, I don't know. I did look at the under 7. I did look at it. It was 5.5. And I know
what it's worth. I'm on the under 2, but I'm not making it official now. I got 7.5 with juice on it. It's 7 now and with juice, and it's even 6.5 in some spots. So you can't touch it now. That's just too much of a move.
I agree. It's a big move. Top set on the Rangers, first 5. And there we go. Joe Yurkovich, the first 3 unders are phenomenal. I mean, I'm up double-digit units on the first 3 unders. I was putting them out last week. I was updating. I haven't updated them in a few days, maybe 5 days. So I will update them, but they've been very good. But we had the first two back-to-back days where a first 3 under lost and the first 5 and full game unders. Well, the full game unders cashed on both of them. That's the first time that happened. It happened in back-to-back days last week. Let's roll on. We have just the cappers for this next baseball game in the Rogers Centre in Toronto, Ontario. I had a really nice read on Stephen Kolek. I thought that he was going to get touched in that start at home versus the Mariners.
You weren't buying in that complete game shutout against Colorado. Neither was I.
No, I wasn't buying in. I wasn't buying into that, and he got touched. And I don't think this is a good spot for him either. In saying that, we have Spooner on the Padres. Official pick for Spooner, minus 125. And again, Bowden Francis, I've been watching very closely. Bowden Francis last start, 4 2/3, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 6 Ks, 2 walks, was wild. He had his curveball going for the first time all year. He was looking at the radar gun after each pitch, almost after each pitch. So he's going through all these thoughts. And said he had the curveball going for the first time this year. It was moving, it was dancing, and he still got lit up and smoked. There's a problem here with Bowden.
Yeah.
He's overthinking things. He's vulnerable. I really believe he is vulnerable. Now, I still fear these early Thursday travel days. I fear overs in them. Your teams can just kind of pack it in after 6. We have AM on the under, and we have Stacks play of the day number 1 on the over 9. So we have Stacks and AM going head to head in this one.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
We have a legitimate move to the Padres go away. This opened up with the Padres at minus 110. The Padres got up to minus 136 less than 2 hours ago. A 26% move disappears. Is that not absolutely wild? Now it's just 2 cents of movement. Absolutely wild. From a total standpoint, we had a similar thing happen. The over 9 opened up at plus 104. The over 9 got up to minus 110. That was at 8:33 a.m. And then it flipped back to 8.5. It flipped back to 8.5 only for a little bit. Around 10:45 a.m., it came back to a 9. Now we're back at 8.5. I saw it moving to the 8.5 in front of me. I was watching the boards light up. I was watching it move. And I still am focusing on Bowden Francis. Now, you would think consecutive home starts against a Padres team that's playing poorly on the road and not hitting, this would be a good opportunity for him. And maybe it is. But I am on the first 5. And also then talk about all the decisions we have to make every day. Do I take the 5 at plus 100? Or do I take the 4.5, very expensive, minus 130? It was minus 129 offshore, minus 130 here. I took the 4.5, minus 130. Kolek has made 2 road starts. He's not allowed to run in 14 1/3. I challenge him to continue that. 28-year-old, Rule 5 pickup for the Padres. Rule 5 pickup from the Mariners. Lefties hitting 167, 694. Righties hitting 324 against him, but not with any power, 666 OPS. Bowden Francis at home has allowed 18 earned runs in 24 innings. He's allowed 10 home runs in 24 innings. Lefties 278, 951. Righties 297, 809. The Padres are not hitting righties, as you guys know, with no power. Last 30 days, 241, just a 668 OPS. Jays versus righties, 257 with a 751 OPS. The Padres bullpen's been an atrocity over the last 30 days. 5.88 ERA, 1.40 whip. Remember, through the first 30 days of the year, they were the best bullpen in Major League Baseball. Jays bullpen has been okay. 3.82 ERA, 1.18 whip. The chillest, my man says, the Pods left their bats in Colorado. Perky says it's a Padres spot. 3 runs last 5 games, back-to-back shutouts. They should take their diapers off today and actually smack Bowden up. Wine Time says Blue Jays money line once again for Wine Time. And for me, Bobano, I messaged TJ and I said, Bowden's got his curveball for the first time all year. The Blue Jays are bet on. And they did come back and lose 5-4. But Bowden did not look good, and I was wrong.
The home runs are an issue for him. That guy just cannot keep giving up home runs, but he still keeps giving them up. It's terrible.
Well, take it away. I can't wait to hear your breakdown of the Blue Jays. Fernando Mendoza says, got to be an under. Samid on Padres team total over. We have cappers on either side of the fence here. Take it away, my man. I can't wait to hear.
If they don't hit Bowden Francis today, I don't know what you say about San Diego on the road offensively. This Bowden Francis is not someone I have confidence in right now. He's given up 18 runs in his last 4 starts. That's 18 runs over a span of 17 innings. So he's given up basically a run per inning in his last 4 starts. It's not good. I think this is – look, I know San Diego's bats are dead. You know, they got swept at home at Petco and scored 1 run in each game. Haven't scored a run in 2 games in this series. So they've scored 3 runs in their last 5 baseball games. So I get the fear, you know, that the Padres can't get their bats going. But gosh, this is still a lineup that's got some bats in it. You'd like to think they can get going today. And for me, I look at Francis, too many home runs. He's given up 8 home runs in his last 4 starts. And there's still power in this Padres lineup. And meanwhile, you mentioned Kolek. I wasn't buying the complete game shutout against Colorado. He came back down to earth, got hit for 5 runs, 8 hits, 5 innings against Seattle in his last start. There's nothing that says there's a bunch of upside, high-end upside here with Stephen Kolek long-term in this Padres rotation. I think the Padres hopefully can finally get it going against Francis. If not today, this might be the last time I trust their offense for a little bit. Now, the good news is I have not really been on San Diego in any form lately. You know, I didn't really touch them in the Seattle series. I took Toronto in the first game of this series with Bassett over Cease. So actually, you know, I've had no faith in the San Diego Padres or their offense, but I'm going to put my faith in them today because I think there's a matchup that they, even with their righty issues, you know, there's a guy that's given up home runs and he's facing a team that's got pop and power and can leave the yard. So I think the Padres can get it going today. They better. Meanwhile, I think the Blue Jays, look, they've been starting to hit. I don't trust Kolek either. So I'm on over 8.5 here with this early start game with the Padres and Jays. Over 8.5 minus 112.
Over 8.5 at minus 112. We have a bunch of cappers moving on this game. We're going to be able to live bet all of these games as well. Bobano moving on the over 8.5 minus 112. What a wild ride this has been here. Serious Business says my friend's nephew plays for the Blue Jays, Mason Fluharty. We will be keeping an eye out for that.
Yeah, he's been good too.
Business.
Nice to hear that.
Yeah, man. I will got that copied and pasted here. All right, so those are our afternoon games. Again, Crystal Craig only betting this game, and she knows this team watches every game. Arise over 1.5 bases minus 114, sprinkled 3 or more bases as well. And Serious Business is a lefty out of the bullpen. I will. And Justin McKelvey says Bowden is exactly what the doctor ordered. You know,
it should be.
Yeah.
But you're always skeptical saying that when you were talking about a team with 3 freaking runs in 5 games entering today. 3 runs in 5 games. That's hard to do.
Twisted thinks it goes under. SBK saying Francis due for a gem. He's got it in him. Well, he was the best pitcher in Major League Baseball in the second half last year. I mean, what do you make of him looking at the radar gun after each pitch? What do you make? When I was watching him on the mound, at first I was like, when I saw the curveball, I was like, oh God, okay, he's got it in today. And I was already on the Jays pre-flop. I was like, he's got it in him. And then I was watching him looking at the radar gun, and I was like, maybe he's overthinking things. What do you think of him doing that? What do you think of a pitcher staring at the radar gun after each pitch, obviously concerned with what's happening out there?
Well, I think you've just got to dial in and focus on the at-bat. You know, focus on who's at the plate. You know, how are you going to pitch to him? What plan do you have? And dial in on it. You know, focus on what the catcher is relaying to you. I don't like that shit when you're looking all around and staring at the crowd or staring at the radar, the miles per hour. and seeing how hard you're throwing. No, you got to just be focused on getting outs and getting the current guy that's at the plate out. I think that's a distraction that I don't like.
It was strange. It was so strange. I was just having such a roller coaster ride watching him pitch. Spooner says the book's out on Francis. There we go. Yes, we do have a 3:10 game, but these are the early spots. Let's bring on the backbone here of Pub Sports Radio, the star of Say Hey Plays, coming to us from our home studio in San Antonio, Texas, in the Southtown 101 Best Bar in Texas. Check it out if you are in San Antonio. Please welcome to the show, young Jose Bouquett. Jose, how are you?
Jimmy, I'm doing well. Good day yesterday. Can't complain. So, let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it rolling. Jose, take it away. We got a fun one here popping off in 27 short minutes. Padres, Blue Jays.
Yeah, I don't have any bets in so far. I was semi-interested in the Rangers, like Bobano mentioned earlier, but I didn't move on it. I haven't moved on this game yet either. Bowden Francis is a more of a you guys kind of guy, so I was listening into you guys, what you guys thought about him. 67% of the bet, 66% of the money on the Padres here. The line has moved towards and to the Padres in that fashion. I'm seeing minus 112, but it's not really moving at all at any points, really. It's just like 2-3 cents. So, I lean Blue Jays. It just wasn't a move I wanted to move in this game.
Well, let's move on to more later afternoon action that will make our day very enjoyable. 3:10 p.m. Eastern, the Philadelphia Phillies 31-18, 14-10 on the road. The Colorado Rockies 8-41, 5-19 at home. We're at Coors Field, Denver, Colorado. Cashed the over quite comfortably yesterday, even though I did prefer the first 5, and I got kind of talked off of it to the full game, which was a tiny bit sweatier. We have 70 Fahrenheit in Colorado. Feels like 64, 6.3 miles per hour, right to left and in. It moves up to 8 miles an hour, but then it starts moving just pretty much right to left, still slightly in. We have Ranger Suarez and Herman Marquez. Billy Friedrich says Marquez has been terrible at home in 3 starts. He hasn't even given up 1 home run, 17 innings pitched. Leave it to some of these Rockies, Senzatella and Marquez, for the craziest stats that I've seen on the. I mean, you could add Vasquez as well on the Padres. The craziest pitching stats I've ever seen. Absolutely wild. We have AM on the over 11. Just my 2 cents says, do the Rockies finally pull one out? Let's set this one up. Stephen Hairston, Rockies money line, and laughing. Ross Pitts, Phillies -1. Benjamin Mills, Phillies double result. A's over 8.5. And Stephen Harrison said, I bet the Phillies run line and team total over in every one of these games. Not today. Says, I think the Rockies can do it. Top says, I believe Marquez deals today. I'm on the Rockies money line +1.5. Irish King on the other side. Phillies first 5 -1.5. Says too easy. So
I've never heard so many people in the chat like the Rockies one day today. This is shocking to hear.
Well, let's get into the line history here for this one. We have an 11.5. It's -107 to the under. This opened up at 11 at 6:35 p.m. It stayed at 11 until 10 this morning, and it's now moved to 11.5. Half a move to the over. On the money line, we have the Rockies at +234. They opened up at +247. We had a pretty legit move towards him. This got down to +228 at 12:22 p.m. So a move. Joey B says good morning from Denver. Shout out to all of our Denver Cappers. Joey B, Steve G, Sonny. Also, of course, the Reaver, who won our poker tournament at Pubapalooza 4. The Reaver is now moved here to the Denver area. So here we go. Ranger Suarez, 2-0, 5.09 ERA, 1.13 whip. Just 17 2/3 under his belt this year. 17 Ks and 4 walks. His last start, 8-4 win at home versus the Pirates. The Pirates aren't hitting lefties, and he got through them. 7 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk. Did allow a homer. On the road, he's only had 1 start on the road. He's only had 3 starts this season. On the road, it was at Cleveland on May 10th, and he was fine. It was a 7-1 win. He looked good. 7 innings, 3 hits, 5 Ks, 1 walk. He looked good. Lefties are not touching him at all. Righties hitting 250, 639 OPS. And then Marquez, what the hell do we do with him? 3 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs, 5 of which were earned in that 14-12 win at Arizona. He started 3 games at home. He's been better at home. He hasn't allowed a home run, as our man Billy mentioned, but 6 Ks and 8 walks, points hitting 288 against him. Lefties 321, 859, righties 345, 963. Phillies rating 268, 745 versus righties. Rockies versus lefties just 186, 579. And the Phillies bullpen has really got themselves together here in the last month. 3.57 ERA, 1.18 whip. Rockies bullpen 4.79 ERA, 1.52 whip. Here we go, Bobano. 12 more minutes of Ian Cameron. We'd love to have you. Phillies, Rockies, take it away. Well, I think you might be muted.
Yeah. I have 2 bets on this game, but I think I'm only going to make the one official because I have Phillies team total. I've been just taking the Phillies team total in this series because Colorado, it's either their starters or their bullpen or a combination of both that just at some point the Phillies have been blowing these games wide open. But now it's 7.5 with the total at most books. And if you're going to take the 6.5 now, you got to lay like minus 160. So, I'm not going to go with that for the show, but I will go with over 11 minus 128 for my official play on this game. I think we're going to see runs, most of them by the Phillies again. I mean, Marquez has been dreadful at Coors Field. There's been a lot of these Rockies pitchers. There was a time Kyle Freeland used to pitch pretty solid at Coors Field, and even he's been roughed up this year. Senzatella, you go on down the list. They have high hopes for this Dolander kid, and yeah, he pitched a little bit better last time, but he's still very much a work in progress. But Marquez just has not had great numbers at home. This is one of the absolutely awful bullpens behind him, so it's hard to envision the Phillies not doing more offensive damage here this afternoon after scoring 25 runs in the first 3 games of this series, 9, 7, and 9. I think that probably continues here. That being said, Ranger Suarez for the Phillies, you always have to look in to see how a pitcher's done at Coors Field in the past. His numbers aren't great. He's made 2 starts here, 8 runs, 10 hits, 10 innings of work in the past here in Denver at Coors Field. So not great out of Ranger Suarez here in Colorado his previous 2 times he started in this ballpark. So maybe, hopefully, that's a sign that the Rockies can contribute a little bit as far as this game going up and over the total. I think they can. We'll see if that's possible. So I've got, in my mind, something like, 8-4, 8-5, that kind of a final score. So I'm on the Phillies team total personally, not for the show, just because it's moved too much. But officially, I am on over 11, minus 128.
Over 11 at minus 128. We had Joe Yurkovich come in yesterday and said, my only bet today is the Phillies team total over 6.5. And it cashed very easily. Jose Bouquett, Phillies Rockies, your plan of attack.
Yeah, this once upon a time was a minus 300. I was going to move on it. It's now minus 285, but I'm still going to move on it. I'm going to take the Rockies plus 240 here, full game money line. Maybe it's kind of a heat check bet for me. I had such a good day yesterday that I can, I have the bankroll for the week to be able to make a bet like this and not feel like an asshole if it loses. But it's just a little interesting. This started at 285 where we used to play poker at. There's 75% of the bets, 88% of the money on the Philadelphia Phillies has come back down a little bit. It's a little interesting. Maybe that's not going to be the reason why the Rockies win. I've, again, never heard the chat like the Rockies as much today. I thought I was going to stand on an island here thinking, okay, everyone's going to shit on me because I'm going to take the Rockies here, but whatever. But yeah, I'm on the Rockies here. Ranger Suarez has pitched 3 times in Coors. They've all been pretty good. 6 innings, 3 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. 4 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs. And then 1 in 2018 that I just tossed out the window there. But the bullpen as well has been rested because they haven't had to throw any of their good guys because they've been smacking so much this series. So, unfortunately for them, and Jimmy, I know you love this, with my guy Alvarado on Ozempic fat-reducing pills. I don't want to hear steroids, fat-reducing pills. With him on now the suspended list, Jordan Romano is now the closer of the Philadelphia Phillies, which I'm sure you both, maybe Bobano still loves Jordan Romano too. Who knows?
Love is not the right word.
I don't know. You love him.
I just take offense when people would. This guy was an all-star for the Jays, and all he does is get lambasted by everybody. So I stuck up for him many times, but
Yeah.
love is a little harsh. What do you think of Romano
Well,
closing
look,
for the
he's
Phillies?
brutal so far for the most part with the Phillies, but doesn't mean he can't turn it around.
I mean, yeah, he got a save in his last outing. The fact that his ERA is a 7 right now, I have a feeling that will go down.
Small sample size.
You can't close the book on him. So closers are cyclical. They're going to have 2 weeks where they absolutely suck and they can't buy an out when they go on the mound. And there's going to be times when they get in a groove and they have rip off like 9 or 10 saves in a row. I mean, you just got to live with this shit. What closer doesn't have a sequence where they have a rough patch at some point? You know, you just hope if you're the Phillies that Romano's through with his rough patch.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm a fan of him.
Strom and Kirkring haven't thrown in 3 days, so I expect them to all throw today, regardless of what the score is. And especially if the Rockies are up, I wouldn't be surprised if they all throw. So, yeah, Rockies for me, full game money line.
The days of Eckersley and Tom Henke and, you know, all these guys from the past, I'm going way, you can tell I'm getting old. I'm going to be 40 later this year, and I'm throwing out names like that. But the days of the closers coming in there and like being automatic every fucking time they take the mound, those days are over. You know, those days are over. You're going to see closers have bad days. You're going to see closers have good days. The days where they just come in there and they're automatic every single time, you're just not seeing it like you did in the 80s or in the 90s with the closers in Major League Baseball. You're just not.
If there is an early explosion of runs in the first 2 or 3 innings, I may look for a live under. I may look for a live under. Let's roll on. We only have Bobano for a few more minutes. Bobano on the over 11 in the Rockies game. Jose on the Colorado Rockies. And you got what, plus 244?
Plus 240 flat. I also considered moving on first 5. I was going to be a pussy and take plus a half instead of the money line, but there's such a high total. But, you know, I just ended up going full game. I'll roll the dice with the Rockies bullpen.
We have one more afternoon game, one more game with Ian Cameron joining us here. 3:35 p.m. Eastern. We have the Los Angeles Angels, 23-25, 14-15 on the road at the Athletics. Now it's 6 games under 500 and just 8 wins in 24 home games at Sutter Health Park in Sacramento, California. Not what they were hoping for. 80 Fahrenheit, feels like 75, 6.3 miles per hour to center, and it gets up to 8.9 miles per hour to center. Tyler Anderson on the hill going up against Luis Severino, who is being annihilated at Sutter Health Park. Everywhere else, he's a Cy Young nominee. You get him here at Sutter Health Park, 26 earned runs in 34 2/3. I mean, he's just getting lit up and smoked here. Let's get into the line history here and set this one up. We have the A's right now minus 126. A big move against them. They opened up at minus 157.
Good Lord.
All the way down to minus 126. Wow. So a 31-cent move away from the Athletics. When we get to the total in this one, we have a 10.5. It's minus 111 to the over. This opened up at 10, moved a half run to 10.5. We have Jason Meyer saying, didn't Anderson get ejected in that last start? I'm not sure. Did he? In that, it was an 11-9 win at the Dodgers. Eldorado Custodian. I don't know if he did. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks, no walks. He's been good this year. 3.04 ERA, 1.09 WHIP. He's been much better at home than he has been on the road. On the road, he's allowed 5 home runs in 21 2/3. And it's the reverse splits. We see so many of them. This year. 280, 953 OPS against them. But I was expecting a lineup that would be devoid of lefties. AM saying 65% of the tickets on the A's, 89% of the cash, 56% of the tickets on the under, and 56% of cash on the under, and yet it's gone up to 10.5. Severino on the other side, coming off a 1-0 loss at the Giants. A nice pitcher's park for him. He struggled here, as I said. Lefties are hitting 261, 730 against him. Righties 226, 607. Angels are hitting 228 with a 705 OPS versus righties. The A's are hitting lefties, not with a ton of power, but 272, 718 OPS. And these are bullpen's numbers that I can't even believe. Angels bullpen over the last 30 days, 7.63 ERA, 1.80 WHIP. Over a run better than the A's bullpen. That's allowing 6.46 runs over 9 innings with a 1.62 WHIP. Bobano, our last game with you in action here on Pop Sports Radio. Take it away, Angels Athletics.
Yeah, I like the Angels and over. 2 bets here. The Angels are hot, man. They're playing great baseball right now. Swept the Dodgers over the weekend, finally starting to hit. I like what I still don't love their bullpen, but pitching's been good enough. It's their offense, though, that's been what's carried them here. And you mentioned Severino. He's been excellent on the road, but he has been just a disaster area here in Sacramento. I mean, these numbers at home: 8 runs in 4 innings against the Yankees, 4 runs in 6 innings against the Mariners, 3 runs, 6 hits at home against the lowly White Sox, who haven't been able to hit much this season. I mean, it's been rough. The ERA is just bloated for Severino at home. Tyler Anderson, yeah, not my favorite pitcher by any stretch of the imagination, but prior to the last start against the Dodgers, where he got roughed up a bit, he had given up 3 runs or less in 4 straight starts. He's got decent numbers historically against the A's. 3 runs in 5-6 innings every recent start, including 2 last year against this team. It's just one team's red hot, the other's ice cold, and I can get plus money with the team that's red hot. It's one of those keep it simple, stupid handicaps for me. So Angels plus 116 here, money line at the current price. I think that's the best price out there right now. Yeah, plus 116. And I'm on this over here, 10.5, minus 105. I think we'll see runs again. This has been a boon for me all year, these overs at home in Sacramento. And I'm going back to the well.
Yeah, it was nice cash yesterday. Over 10.5, and the Angels a money line. Bobano, we have a quick tight out here, Jose. So we'll hear your breakdown in a second for Angels Athletics. Bobano, is there anything else you want to make official on the rest of the MLB card here for record keeping purposes?
Yeah, I mean, this is a good card. Remember last time I was on, it was 2 Thursdays ago because I had to miss last week. I said that's a terrible card. I could barely find a play or two that I like.
And you cashed them both.
Yeah, yeah. We did. And this is the complete opposite. There's a lot that I'm liking here. There's a couple later on that I'm liking. So I'll give you the leans. I'm not making these official. I lean Pittsburgh. I think it's a tough spot for Milwaukee coming up later. They had the long game with Baltimore, extra innings. They used up a lot of their relievers in the bullpen. I'd lean a little bit to the Pirates there against the Brewers later. I'll probably have a smaller bet on that. I know I've been fading Baltimore like crazy. I'm going to take Boston just because I don't love the Baltimore fade today, though, because they finally got a win. Maybe it a pick me up for them. And it is Giolito on the mound. It's not like we can fully trust him, but I'll take another shot. I'll fade Baltimore. And if I lose 2 in a row now, fading Baltimore after all this money that I've won, fading them, then maybe we'll pump the brakes. But one more fade Baltimore tonight for me with Boston. That's not an official play, though. There's one more play that I will make official on this card. Over 8.5 with Seattle and Houston. I'm a little bit concerned about Kirby, from the inflammation. He's back from that inflammation injury absence. I'm not totally, and on the road, he's like with so many of these Seattle pitchers. Go on down the list: Wu, Kirby, Gilbert. I like him at home, and sometimes they can be a little dicey on the road. Plus, we have no idea how he's going to pitch here, coming off such a long absence. And Houston's actually been starting to hit more at home lately. So I think the Astros can score some runs, and I have zero faith in McCullers. I think there's still a long road back for him. He was a little bit better in his last start, but let's not forget he got absolutely hammered in the start before that. So I think 8.5, that could be an over game there, and that is the one play I will add officially for the remainder of this card. Seattle, Houston, over 8.5, minus 114.
You are in business, Ian. Thank you so much for rocking with us again in our Eastern Conference final matchup tonight at the Lenovo Center, Raleigh, North Carolina. Bobano on Kane's first period. Kane's first period goal at minus 145, and Panthers team total over 2.5 at minus 112. He has moved on the Rangers money line. It is 0-0 right now. We have 2 down in the top of the second. He has moved on the over 8.5 in San Diego, Toronto. And then he's moved on the over 11 in Philadelphia, Colorado. He's moved on the Angels money line and the over 10.5. And he closes up shop here with us on the over 8.5 in Seattle, Houston. Bobano, tell us about what's going on with the Ice Guys. Tell us about what's going on with the Hitting the Books YouTube channel that you guys, I know you and Connor moved to MLB. I know you guys are off today from the NBA OG show, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, rocking on the Ski Profit YouTube channel. Tell us about what's going on here with the Ice Guys and with the Hitting the Books.
You know what? I've had a change of heart. I'm going to add that Pittsburgh plus 104. Give me that Pirates plus 104. I think it's a beautiful spot to fade the Brewers today. Pittsburgh Pirates plus 104, which, like I say, Bet Rivers has that right now. So I like that spot. I really do. Milwaukee off the tough loss yesterday to lowly Baltimore. Like I said, they went through a lot of their key arms in the bullpen in that game yesterday as well. So that bullpen could be a little bit depleted for the Brewers here tonight. So, yeah, Pittsburgh plus 104. Hitting the books. Me and Connor Mack, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. We got the NBA OG crew betting show for the remainder of the playoffs. Also the same days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific with that. Ice Guys show still rocking 7 days a week, every game day during the rest of the playoffs. And we have a live betcast tonight. Any of you that are listening and watching the show, you're invited to it. It's free for all, this betcast tonight for Game 2, Eastern Conference Final, Florida, Carolina, starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. So Ice Guys live betcast tonight. Looking forward to that. Join us if you like. And like I said, on this show with Jimmy, my good pal, every Thursday. And looking forward to it for the rest of the summer. So good luck, Jimmy. Jose, good to see you. Good luck. Good luck to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button, and we'll see you next week.
There he is, Mr. Ian Cameron at Bobano Bets on X. Please support him and his content. Great job from Bobano. All right, we are still in Angels A's. So we're going to hear from Jose Bouquett. We also are going to hear from our next guest, the star of walk-off wagers here every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Please welcome our friend, Mr. Morgan Spooner, to the show. Spooner, what's good, man? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, man, we are pumped up, man. This is a fun card. The action's already started. Jose coming off a huge day, which included a live bet on the Yankees at plus 260 or something late.
That was nice.
He was running hot. So everything is moving. I didn't have a winning day, though. I didn't have a winning day, so I'm champing to get back in the winner's circle.
I taught Helga about champing yesterday. She was shocked to hear it. She didn't believe me.
Good. Teach them all, Jose.
Chomping is just such a funny thing to hear.
It's not their language to bastardize.
It's a sign of ignorance.
Extreme ignorance.
I said she was champing at the bit, and she's like, "What the fuck?" Then I had to explain it. It was a horse, and then she was like, "You just called me a horse?"
Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen when you bastardize the language. We call you animals. Let's get back to work here, Jose. Angels A's. You were just about to give us your read on this, and then
I'd love for Spooner to go first. I'd love to hear what Spooner.
Tyler Anderson, Luis Severino, Bobano moving on side and total Angels and the over 10.5. Take it away.
Yeah, on this one, I got really close to moving on the Athletics. I look at this Angels team, and they're really hot. They're finding ways to win games, but this bullpen is taxed. I look at Kenley Jansen. I don't expect him out again today. I look at Tyler Anderson. He's not a guy I trust that much. If I was going to give a lean to the pitching matchup, I trust Luis Severino much more. Then I go to the offenses, and I really do like this Athletics offense. But they don't hit lefties as well as they hit righties, and I'm just looking at the bats that I'm going to see today. I don't need to lay juice with this team, but if I were going to do it, it would be Athletics. Maybe just take the -1 so you can get plus money on it. But I ended up passing on the game.
I have left this game alone, and I'm concerned. It's been back-to-back days that I've lost with the A's, and I don't know. Maybe I should. I feel like that. You know, the late to the party, early to the funeral analogy. Let's hear from Mr. Bouquett, Angels A's.
Yeah, I love this play. Wine time. Shout out to you wherever you are. Hoping you and your family are doing all right, my man. I'm fucking putting my wings on. I'm on the Angels here. I'm going to say it right now for everyone loud and clear. Tyler Anderson, complete game today. He is going to put this whole team on his back, and he's going to guide them to victory today. One of my favorite stats to not look at this year is who are the best lefties against righties. Tyler Anderson, batting average against right now, 174, second best in the league, only to the guy pitching right now in New York, Carlos Rodon, only better than him right now. And then Heaney and then Falter. So shout out to them. But he dominates righties. And if you look at this damn lineup, Tyler Soderstrom, Lawrence Butler, JJ Bledede. That's all they have for the lefties. And if you look, and I looked up during this segment, I looked up how are those guys hitting against lefties then? JJ Bledede, weighted runs created plus 203. Congratulations to him. Hits him well. Tyler Soderstrom, 84. Below average. Lawrence Butler, 2 weighted runs created plus. So I just think that if he could navigate Tyler or JJ Bledede, he will be able to cruise through this lineup. The bullpen is taxed, like Spoon's saying, so I think he goes out there and pitches for days. They need him to pitch. This is a similar situation to Crochet yesterday, but yesterday it was cold, and the Red Sox invested a lot of money in Crochet not to throw him on a cold day where they needed a lot of length, and he's already pitched the most amount of innings in baseball. So I think we won't be afraid to use up Tyler Anderson here. They won't be afraid to throw him as long as they can because Kenley Jansen back-to-back days. He had a day off yesterday. Still don't think he goes. Zephyr John threw yesterday, day off before, and then threw again. I'd be a little surprised if he went. Hector Neris threw. He will be available probably. And then we get into, are you interested in Reed Detmers with a day off? Are you interested with Hunter Strickland with a day off? I just think Tyler Anderson pitches for a long ass time. He dominates the A's. So I'm going to take them full game money line. I'm also going to bet them first 5 as well. Oh, so geez. First 5 even money, full game plus 113. And if I had more balls, I would, and if I had, a better book, I guess I would consider betting his over outs, but I don't know what it has been compared to what it is today. So, I'd have to do more research, but I do think Tyler Anderson shoves.
Is it me, Spooner, or does Jose sound older, more lower voice today after a big win day, more confident? Is it me, Spooner? Or are you getting that too?
I actually just went and grabbed my phone. I was checking to see the price I could get on the Athletics right now because that level of confidence is something I completely disagreed with. Jose, I love it. We don't always have to be on the same page with things, but that's honestly where I went. I got 4 bets already today, so I don't need to add this. I was looking at it. The better price with the Athletics I like, but certainly fishy that 62% of the tickets are on the Athletics, 86% of the money, and the line's coming down. I don't know.
Oh God, that was good.
It is very. I mean, the market's clearly screaming that the Angels are the side.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that wager numbers there. 62% of the bets, 86% of the money on the A's, 56 and 56 on the under.
Wow. All right, let's roll on to our next spot on the board. Double up spot for Mr. Bouquett. Bobano also on the Angels and the over 10.5, and Spooner and I not moving. We move on to nighttime action. Spooner has action here on this one, as does our friend Mr. Ron Crawford in the chat. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is the Detroit Tigers. So we have reached spreadsheet and Spooner Boulevard, the corner of spreadsheet and Spooner Boulevard. Ron Crawford's AM is on the over on this one. Spooner backing the Tigers on the -1 line. We're Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. It is cold up here, man. 55 Fahrenheit. Feels like 47. 12.5 miles per hour out to left center. Dies down to 10.7 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We'll start with the total. This total is an 8, -108 to the over. It opened up at 7.5. It lasted there for 2 minutes. Moved to 8. It was juiced to the under at -114. This became juiced to the over at 5:36 a.m. And then at 8:30 a.m. at 8:30 a.m. it went back to 7.5, which it stayed for 2.5 hours. And then a move back to the over, and then back to the under again at 11 a.m. You could have got this over 7.5 at -111 at a real good price. And now we've had to move back to the over. So we've had a legitimate move. This opened over 7.5 -115. Now we're over 8 at -108. We've heard AM moving on the over. We did just get out of that inning for those of you who are on unders in the Bronx. So we are heading now to the, the top of the third. Heading to the top of the third here. Like to start the day with some glory here. But let's stay focused here on this spot. Bybee versus Flaherty. On the money line, we have the Tigers at -126. They open up -127. They open up -129, so we've had no movement on the money line. Cash flow wise, I do now have the wager talk odds board. I guess we'll just leave action alone.
What?
Yeah, you sent me the picture and it forced me to read it. On the tickets, you have 67% of the tickets on the Tigers, but 56% of the cash on the Guardians. 78% of the tickets on the under, but 69% of the cash on the over. So bigger bets on the over. Top set, don't do that to us. It's just, this is the coldest May in 24 years up here. Tanner Bybee, 3-4, 4.06 ERA, 1.29 whip. Always had a problem getting strikeouts when he needs them, but he can get soft contact, can get double play balls, can get soft contact. He's allowed 11 home runs in 51 innings this year. And on the road, 9 of those home runs have come. He's only allowed 2 at home. On the road, opponents hitting .292 against him. He's getting lit up and smoked. 9 home runs allowed in 26 and a third. His last start was at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. He got touched up there, 5 runs, 4 of which were earned, 6 innings, 10 hits. He does not look very good. Lefties are hitting .244, 825 against them. Righties are .262, 790 OPS. Let's talk about Jack Flaherty, who is being okay. He's got the same issue where he's just allowing too many home runs. It doesn't matter if he's allowed 5 at home, 5 on the road. He's allowed 10 home runs over 46 and 2/3 and 56 strikeouts. So he's getting strikeouts, but finding barrels. Last start, 5-4 win of the Blue Jays. That was against Bowden Francis. He went 5 and 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks. Well, he looked good. Lefties are hitting him hard. 230 with an 820 OPS. Righties just 243, 711. Samit says I can only look over. Fernando Mendoza looking at the over. Philly Eagle Flyer on Tigers game tied after 2 at +154. You already cashed that. Yankees at +124. Great work, Philly Eagle Flyer. Love seeing you cash those. And Barger, remember SBK backing Barger. First plate appearance on base at +140 and home run +1200. Guardians versus righties just 231, 686. They're not hitting. Their bullpen's also struggling. 4.42 ERA last 30 days with a 1.46 whip. Tigers are a top 5 team in Major League Baseball. Are they a top 3 team in Major League Baseball? Should they be on top of the power rankings? That's what it's come to. The Tigers bullpen's been very good all year. 3.45 ERA, 1.30 whip. And they're hitting righties hard. 256, 760 OPS last 30 days. Spooner, you have moved on this one. Take it away. Why are you backing Jack Flaherty and the Detroit Tigers on a -1 line at +105?
Yeah, Cleveland's been off a little bit of a weird stretch with their games. They haven't been able to stack up pitching necessarily how they'd like with all the weather they've had to deal with, and they're going to deal with some more weather today here in Detroit. I think this sets up well for the Tigers. I look at who pitched last night for Cleveland, and I see Clase went, Gaddis went, and Heron went. 3 arms that I trust the most. Cleveland's really good at managing their arms. They don't really try to pitch them back-to-back unless they have really good situations where they're going to win the game. I look at this game, and I see Flaherty in a spot where he needs to pitch well. He's only gone 6 innings once this year, but this Tigers bullpen is taxed, and originally I tried to get there with Cleveland, and I remembered where I was at with Detroit yesterday, and I was like, there's no way Vest or Conley comes out here. I don't think Detroit can win this game. But this team just hits. They hit the ball well. They find ways to win, and they gave Vest and Conley the day off. So now they can give the ball to three of their best relievers today, right from Jack Flaherty's hands. When I put these two lineups right next to each other, this Detroit lineup is head and shoulders standing above this Guardians lineup, and it's not really that close for me. I need the Guardians to face a pitcher that really struggles with lefties, somebody that can't handle a good lefty. If I want to do something against them, I don't see that here. I think Flaherty's a good pitcher. I think this Tigers bullpen is in a situation where they can handle the win tonight. Ron Crawford, shout out my guy. This is one of the sharpest cappers in every single sport. Everything you look at, he's always cashing. Love to be on that side too, but everything just stacks up for me. I see a path to victory for Detroit, and I see a path to victory for the Guardians too, but a lot of that rides on Tanner Bybee, and I ask myself, do I have that much faith in Tanner Bybee? And I do not. I think this Tigers lineup stacks 4, 5, 6 runs on him today. I don't think this is going to be that close of a game. The weather scares me just a hair, but the wind blowing out, I think these Tigers bats will get a couple in there versus Bybee, and I think this -1 is going to be a nice spot to sit. I like the plus money, so I don't have to lay any juice. That's it, Jim.
I get it here. We just had a double. I thought it was a home run, but there was ground rule double for the Rangers, which I thought was certainly was a home run. But I misread that. Spooner with a great breakdown on the Tigers -1 at +105. And we hear Troy Torrance says, tell him, Spoon. Take it away, Mr. Bouquet, Guardians Tigers.
I didn't have much coming into this game, but shout out to Matty Ice. He messaged us this morning, Jimmy, saying this is the taint play of the day. Ooh. Tigers first 5 -0.5 here. Tigers batters are 30 for 103, 291 batting average against Bybee. Tigers top of the order hitters, Carpenter, Torres, McKinstry, Green are 18 for 47, a 382 batting average, 6 doubles, 2 home runs in his career in their careers against Bybee's. That paired with Bybee on the road, a 26 innings pitch sample size with a 6 ERA, over 1.5 whip, and a almost 300 batting average against. This is his top spot on the board. It did indeed make me want to bet Tigers first 5 -0.5. The only reason I haven't moved on anything in this game is I really don't trust Jack Flaherty. He pitched well last year, and shout out to him, but I don't know. Just maybe a little bit of a flash in the pan. I don't know. There's 67% of the bets, like you mentioned, on Detroit, 56% of the money on Cleveland. And this line kind of has come down a little bit, but not too much. So I stayed off here. But Tigers first 5 -0.5 is our guy, Matty Ice's taint play of the day.
I wouldn't mind just making sure that Mia Khalifa's okay. She seems in good spirits. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board. I get why you guys are on the tie. I don't know why exactly. I'm kind of stuck here. But there's no reason to not fade Bybee. I mean, he's showing nothing here, but I don't know why I'm just sort of hesitant. Let's just go over there's been no line move to Detroit. They're very cheap at home.
What do you think about where is Cleveland going to get their runs? You're going to have to win at least 4 runs to win this game, I imagine. The Tigers lineup's going to get something between the bullpen and Bybee. I try to just find that spot, and I get so stuck trying to manufacture runs with the Guardians lineup versus a decent pitcher. Again, if there's somebody that has real struggles with lefties, I put my faith in the guys, but I don't know.
Well, I'm telling you, what we know about this Guardians lineup is there's going to be 8 left-handed bats against Flaherty. They, not a huge average 230, but an 820 OPS. I like where you're at, and Troy said
I'm on the Padres too. I just saw that 2-run shot, and he walked another guy. I didn't get a chance to break that down, but I have no faith in Bowden Francis. I really think the book is out. MLB hitters and MLB pitchers play a game of chess where you get better and then you get worse and you get better and you get worse and you go back and forth. And it's because you develop a pitch that is better at something specifically. And then the hitters find a way to get at that pitch or just ignore it. And I think we're kind of coming up on the spot where the hitters are coming to find a book on Bibee. And the hitters that I want in this game is that Detroit hit, like 1 through 9, the lineups. I mean, you can look with whatever statistical rank you want. They're very far apart.
Yeah, no, I completely understand it, and I will spend a little bit more time on it. I'll spend a little bit more time.
Rodon escapes.
Oh. And the skunt bag play, our read on Bowd, like I watched him. I was staring at him. I was watching everything. I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I think our read should have probably got me on the Padres, but I was also sort of fading Kolek. Let's just get that first 5 over and we'll call it. Skunt bag in the house, the Skunt Blaster, Atlanta Dream money line. I can't wait to talk about those 2 WNBA games because every single thing I've seen, everybody's on the Indiana Fever, and then everybody's on the Liberty, and I cannot wait to break those 2 games down. I love that you're on the Dream money line. The line's going to keep moving towards the Fever. Also, he's on the Hurricanes with me, and he's on the Nat, something that I could possibly be on. I can't let Justin McKelvey scare me into not fading the Braves because that's what he has been doing.
Put the fear in you.
He doesn't want us to fade the Braves. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Let's move on to our next spot on the board. We have the Milwaukee Brewers 24-26, 9-16 on the road at Pittsburgh Pirates 17-33, 11-14 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Aaron Savali is expected to get the start. I don't know. Is that being if we go to a book, will they have Savali announced as the starter?
I didn't have it this morning. I'm checking now. No.
Okay,
the line has collapsed though.
Really? We expect Savali to be starting, but he may not.
The only other pitcher they have as an option is Carlos Rodriguez. I was hoping for a better line with Carlos Rodriguez. Had that been the option and he had been a big dog, I was looking to find a way to back him. But I believe Savali is going to go here. They skipped his AAA start last night, and everything matches up that he will go in this spot. I think this is just a little bit of gamesmanship, not putting a pitcher out there until they absolutely have to.
Yeah, look, Savali had a very strange season last year. He looked bad with the Rays. I couldn't understand why. 5.07 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Moves to the Brewers, and he starts looking like the Savali again that we remember, from the Guardian days. But now we've had the Guardians and the Rays give up on Savali, and until the Royals have shown how smart they are with their pitchers, these were the 2, outfits that we really trusted, and they didn't want Savali. Savali with the Brewers last year went 6-3 with a 3.53 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. He was healthy to start the year. He made 1 start. It was against the Yankees on March 30th. 3 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 home runs allowed, 2 Ks, 1 walk, 12-3 loss at the Yankees. Didn't look good. Didn't look good at all. Then he has the left hamstring strain. So 5 scoreless, 60 pitches was his limit. So he's certainly not going to be going deep into this game. And then he's going up against Mike Burrows. Mike Burrows, the 25-year-old 11th round pick, not a highly thought of prospect. He came out of high school, Waterford High School in Waterford, Connecticut. This year in Indianapolis, he's been very good. He started 7 games. He pitched out of the bullpen in 1 game. So he's throwing 32 1/3, 41 strikeouts, 11 walks. He has allowed 6 home runs in 32 1/3, but he's only allowed 23 hits. 2.51 ERA, 1.05 WHIP. He's looked very good, and he has made 1 start in Major League Baseball. It was last year. He went 3 1/3. He allowed 1 earned run. So we don't know a lot about him. We know that the Pirates opened up at plus 114, and they're now minus 101. So we've had a 15-cent move against whom we think will be Savali. We've also had Bobano move on the Pittsburgh Pirates as well. Let's take a look at the total here for this one. From a total perspective, we have the 9 minus 114 to the under. Where was the move, Jose? I missed that.
So when I saw this at BetMGM this morning, when I made the graphics, it was minus 130. Now on BetMGM, it's minus 115 with no pitcher still.
Oh, okay. Yes, the move to the Pirates. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that was legit. Absolutely. Okay, so here we go. This is a tricky one, Jose. Not a ton of info, and we don't need to spend too long on it, but take it away for us here. Brewers, Pirates.
Yeah, just based on that line movement with no pitcher, and again, the books probably know it's Savali, is just weird. There's no line information or whatever here, so I lean Pirates. I don't know shit about Mike Burrows. I intend on finding out here today a lot about Mike Burrows, I guess. But this game's also in red, I will mention, on RotoWire. So is our next game. But I ultimately just ended up staying off for right now, at least.
Yeah, I think this game goes. It might be pushed back a little bit. It's not heavy rain. 11.6 miles per hour out to left, but it is cold. 54 feels like 48. That's why we have the 9. I can understand why AM's on the 9. Both these teams are the worst two teams in Major League Baseball over the last 30 days against righties. Brewers 229, 649 OPS. Pirates 229, 628 OPS. Both bullpens have been poor. I've been waiting for the Brewers bullpen to get better. It's not been that bad. 4.14 ERA, 1.33 whip over the last 30 days, but the Pirates bullpen 5.20 ERA, 1.38 whip. It wouldn't surprise me if Mike Burrows has a decent, 4-inning start. It wouldn't surprise me if Savali looks okay here. I guess I have some interest in the first 3 under. Let's hear Ron. Thank you for all the hard work that you do, my friend, and for us. Thank you. Am says, see Pirates bet under. Robert Franklin on the Pirates money line. Fernando Mendoza on the first 5 under. And Troy Torrance says, bet the Pirates money line. Then all of you take Pirates team total under 1.5 for plus money. Let's hear from and the under in the Fever game in Carolina. I've got both of those set up. Thank you, my man. And MLB Detroit. Thank you. So let's hear from Spooner. Brewers, Pirates. Spooner, take it away.
Well, this Brewers bullpen is in a bad situation. And I look at a pitcher that's only worked up to 60 pitches is who we're expecting to be the starter today. I think Pittsburgh is going to find themselves in a really good situation to hit the baseball. You just said it, though. They're 29th in baseball hitting righties. I like it, Mike Burrows. I do not expect more than 4 innings. That's the top number, I think, that's coming out of him. As far as like where his arms worked up to, even in the minors, this guy's not hitting over 5 innings, not a single time this season. So I wouldn't expect anything more than 4. I'd probably cap that number at actually 3 if I were going to put a solid guess on it. So you're getting 3 innings out of Mike Burrows. Do you trust this Pittsburgh bullpen? I go to look at it, and I do not. The only arm that I used to trust is David Bednar, and after what I've seen from him this season, he clearly does not have stuff figured out. After that, they had 4 guys pitch yesterday. I don't like this matchup. This is just 2 bad baseball teams going up against each other. You get that with the NL Central sometimes. Ultimately, I lean the Brewers here. I don't like Mike Burrows. I don't think he has the stuff to be a major league guy. If this was Carlos Rodriguez, like I was talking about, I'd probably have a bet on the Brewers, but just the bullpen's being kind of worn out. I could only lean Brewers. I'm off the game.
Ooh, we're on the board. Thank you, Christopher Comentini. You cashed that first 3 under, and we're in good shape for the full game. I want this first 5 over, and then I'll just shut the fuck down, man. I like it. I kind of have interest in the first 3 under. Maybe it's a mistake. I mean, I don't really have enough. I mean, we don't have a ton of information. The information I have is that these teams can't hit righties, and these bullpens are trash. So I want to stay away from them. I have a vividness bias on Savali, which could be a mistake, and I don't really know what I'm getting with Mike Burrows. So maybe I should not get involved, but I do kind of lean to that first 3 under. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board. I was pretty excited about our first 5+1/2 with the Nats yesterday. And I don't know if I go back to the well. We're Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. A.J. Smith-Shawver, the young phenom for the Braves, 3-2, 2.33 ERA, 1.24 WHIP. He's allowed just 3 home runs over 38 2/3. And these two pitchers just faced each other. Thank you, Ronnie, my man. These two pitchers just faced each other, and we talked about this yesterday. We talked about how I believed, and I believe that the market was very indicative that Trevor Williams is going to pitch well. That was yesterday. We'll go over what it is today. And I do think that the market has a really strong read on Trevor Williams and some of these, aging veterans, and they really tell us when they're going to pitch well. And I do believe in Trevor Williams' bag of tricks. He didn't pitch very well in that start last week. 4 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were in 4 Ks and no walks. He has started 4 games at home, and he's not being very good. He's striking out more batters than I remember, and he doesn't give up a ton of hard contact. But when you watch him pitch, you think, God, this guy can get hit. The righties, he's been mowing down. Righties are hitting just they're hitting 210, but with no power at all, 494 OPS. It's lefties are destroying Trevor Williams right now. 383, 1.014 OPS. And that's what kind of got me towards Trevor Williams in the first place. Was, remember yesterday, Matt Olson was one of the Stacks plays of the day because, he's a lefty. Albies will hit from the left side in the Harris. But then look at all these righties, which should help Trevor Williams. So let's take a look at the situation that we are dealing with. We have on the weather side of things. Sorry, move right here to the Nationals game. 64 Fahrenheit, light rain to start it off, and then it dries up. 8.9 miles per hour, left to right across the diamond, which should help the movement for these both pitchers. And then when we get to the total, we have an 8.5. It's -111 to the under. This opened up -106 to the under, a 5-cent move towards the under. And then when we get to the money line, we have the Nationals at +141, and they opened up at +136. So we've had a very tiny move towards the Braves. So here we go. Spooner, you have moved on this game. You've made it official. Let our low baggers know what your plan of attack is and how you're getting paid.
Yeah, I moved on the Braves -1 in this game. This is a Braves team I like a lot. I think in the right situations, we can make a lot of money with them. And I think this is one of the right situations. I heard you just saying some good words about Trevor Williams. I don't necessarily agree with those words. I think he's a bat that the Atlanta Braves can really touch here today. I think the good bats in the Braves lineup match up well against Trevor Williams. Friends over at Ballpark Pal, their projections kind of agree with that. I look at A.J. Smith-Shawver. He's a young pitcher, 22-year-old, just really got a lot of good stuff. This is somebody that I want to see in the majors for a long time. And I think this is a spot where he can be successful. If I look at the Nationals versus righties, their numbers kind of scare me a bit. But then I just look at the last week or so, and I see they faced Kyle Gibson, Zach Eflin, Charlie Morton, Spencer Strider in his first real baseball game this year. And what did they do in those games? They got 6 earned, 1 earned, 8 earned, and 4 earned off of them. And that's really impressive work. But if I look right before that, who'd they see? A.J. Smith-Shawver. What'd they get off him? Not a single run in 6 innings. Bryce Elder before that, 1. Schellenbach before that, 2. Holmes before that, 1. Michaelis before that, 1. Palante, 2. These guys aren't getting to righties in a way that's scaring me. Kyle Gibson and Zach Eflin having bad games don't scare me. Spencer Strider having a bad game. He only warmed up in a simulation. He didn't see a real MLB batter till right then. 4 runs off him. Great job, Nationals. I think this is a brave spot. I took the -1 to take the juice out of it. I don't like to pay that much juice. I really see this as a great spot there. Bullpen is set up. They can use every single arm. the Nationals bullpen on the other side of it. Even if they could use every single arm, you wouldn't want them to because they're really not that great. Kyle Finnegan's the only person in that pen I trust, and he is available out of the pen. He threw 10 pitches 2 days ago, but outside of that, between Trevor Williams, this pen, Andrew Chafin, and Kyle Finnegan, the only two arms I don't want to see today. I think the Braves money line, Braves -1, Braves team total are all very live bets.
Jermaine has a question, and I wouldn't mind, with knowing that you've moved on it. We'll hear from Jose in a second, but we have, 78% of the tickets, 75% of the cash on the Braves. There's been no movement whatsoever. And he says, why is this not -180 sitting here at -150?
Atlanta Braves don't have the lineup they did from a few years past. I don't think a lot of people share the same opinion on AJ Smith-Shawver that he's necessarily going to be a stud of the future. I have that opinion. I don't necessarily think Washington's lineup is hot. They've won 4 in a row. You know what? They've won 4 in a row earlier this year. And who'd they have to go face? A team with a good young pitcher on the mound in the Dodgers, and they lost that 5th game. The Nationals don't have the bullpen. They don't have the pitching. They don't have the hitting to rally off 5 wins in a row. Talk about psychological spots and how you get there. Sometimes you're just not good enough to do it. I'm challenging them to win 5 in a row. I don't think they can do it. I think this is a great Brave spot. Why aren't they more expensive? It's because of that. People like to ride hot teams in baseball, and the books are aware of that. You got to make this line not necessarily where I think I'm going to win the line as a bookmaker, but where the ROI is similar on each side. It's a not a plus EV bet. I can't be offering negative EV bets on one side and then plus on the other side. I have to make it similar on both sides of the bet. And I think that's why it's sitting around here.
I guess it's the same.
It's all Braves.
I guess it's the same price as yesterday, first 5 plus a half on Trevor Williams. Let's hear from Mr. Bouquett. Yeah, Joseph, it opened up -150. We opened up -151 right now, but that was 11:56 p.m. Right now it's -153. Take it away, Jose. I'm all ears.
Unmute myself. There we go. I ultimately ended up staying off this game again. It feels like we've tried to bet this game like 3 times now, and it's been canceled. So I stayed off. I do expect the Nationals to have a nice outing, or at least Trevor Williams to have a better outing than the last time. So first 5 plus a half. Still was semi-interested, but I stayed off this game, and I thought you guys broke it down great. I mean, it's a little sus, sure, that it's -150, and it's gone up to like -160 with 78 and 75% of the money on the Braves, sure, but I ended up staying off.
Do you feel, Spooner, that it is more detrimental for a young pitcher to see a lineup twice in 5 days than a vet pitcher? Or do you think that it's about talent, and clearly Smith-Shawver has more talent than Trevor Williams and should be able to find something different to show them?
I think as a young pitcher, you don't know what you don't know. I think the Washington Nationals lineups lacks the vets in there to really be able to break that down. A lot of it anymore is left to analytics and this and that, but baseball's been around for 150 years. And what it comes down to is the 3-hole hitter walking up to the 2-hole hitter and saying, this guy keeps leaving balls right over the plate, breaking balls inside. Just don't wait for your fastball. Just wait for the breaking ball inside. He's going to leave it right up there. And that's what they do. The book gets out on them. Like I said earlier with Bowden Francis, analytics departments have changed how that works, but I think a young pitcher like Shawver, in my opinion, has a better chance to go out there and repeat his performance. I think Trevor Williams' best shot at this point in his career is figuring it out the first time against the lineup. I think if he sees the lineup twice, I think that lineup's going to have a much better shot at him.
Okay, I still have interest in that first 5 plus a half. I'm not sure if I get there, but it is sort of, I can understand the edge on the hill, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like it's the market not moving. Everyone just sitting here. It's a sharp line. I like that you've taken the -1 to lower the VIG, and obviously this Braves bullpen is a huge advantage against the Nats bullpen. As a 5.81 ERA, 1.53 WHIP over the last 30 days. Jerry Davis says Williams' expected numbers better than Shaver, and Nats bats hot at home. Only one way he can go. Nats first 5. Shout out to Robert Cherry in the house. We got last one left rocking with us as well. And Treek B getting a nice start to his card. He's on the Braves with you, Spooner. He's already on the under in the Yankees game of the Padres first 5, so we're in business there. Likes to see some runs there in Toronto. Let's move on to our next spot on the board. We'll let Jose hit lead off here because his Boston Red Sox are in play here at Fenway Park. Take a look at the weather in Boston. We have rain issues. Looks like it's going to rain all game. Is this game just not going to happen, Jose? Should we not put much time into it?
100% on RotoWire for rain. So I don't think it's going to go. I mean, obviously, we're down to still cap it, but I just don't think it's going to go.
High chance of postponement as well as what I'm seeing.
Very high chance to postpone it. Okay, well, let's just touch on a couple things here because it'll be set us up for our work yesterday. Now, it's very possible if this game is postponed to yesterday, I'm saying game's not going, that Jose, will they try to skip Giolito?
No, I don't think so.
So if it's a double dip, he goes tomorrow for sure?
Probably, yeah.
He, coming off a 7-6 win at home versus the Braves, he got lit up and smoked. 6 earned runs over 4 innings. So far, he's had 2 starts at Fenway Park, and he hasn't made it through 8 innings. He's allowed 12 earned runs, 3 home runs, and opponents are hitting .474 against him. Lefties, righties, both sides of the plate, hammering him. Love it, Rez. Absolutely love it, man. Go get it. And then we have Cade Povich. The Red Sox are destroying lefties over the last 30 days at 294, 836 OPS. You know, they're hitting hard. It's righties that are getting to Cade. And so, you know, looking at this Boston lineup, it'll be Duran and Devers, and then it'll just be all righties all the way down for the rest of the lineup. And they both seem vulnerable. So let's just touch on it a little bit, just so we've got, you know, a setting or at least some, you know, a base for our work if this is the same matchup tomorrow. Right now, the Red Sox are -125. They opened up at -122. Not really sure why there hasn't been movement, but there hasn't been movement. On the total in this one, we have it sitting at 8, -108 to the over. This opened up at 8.5 and dropped to 8. Again, we don't think this game goes, and it is blowing heavily in 17.9 miles per hour. So it's unlikely to go. But Jose, why don't you set us up for our cap for this tomorrow? Do you trust what you see from Giolito? Do you think that the Red Sox hammer Povich? Just a couple things to set a base up for tomorrow.
Yeah, Giolito has been an interesting pitcher to watch this year. I've gone back and forth how I felt about him. There will be games where he looks great. Well, it's kind of easy to tell. If he's throwing his fastball at like 92, 90, he's fucked. If he's going out there throwing 94, 95, he can make something work there. It's ugly to watch him pitch, and when he has no fastball velocity, the changeup doesn't work, and everything kind of goes to shit. He's been working on a slider, apparently that has helped him, but I mean, it just has not been fun to watch, to say the least. I mean, his last game, I'll tell you guys right now, I just pulled up his baseball savant page from last game. Fastball velocity last game, averaging 93.9. Not great. Yearly average is 93.1. And he threw his slider a bunch, which he was funny. The start before this, he had a good start, and he raved about, oh, Andrew Bailey helped me get this slider grip, blah, 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 blah. And then his next start, it's like the Braves heard that and expected a bunch of sliders. He threw 33 fastballs and 31 sliders, and they just jumped all over the slider. That was not worth a shit that day. So fascinated to see. I think this pick Mitch will change, and if he's throwing hard, I think it'll be good. But an Orioles team which offense has not been good. The pitching sucked. And I mean, that baseball game deceives you. You see 8 runs, you're like, oh shit, what? The Orioles, this, and that. But it was a 3-3 ball game forever, or whatever it was. And they get the extras. Of course, they go in extras and they break your heart in the ninth inning there, the bottom of the ninth, or no, it was the top of the ninth where they got the run and tied up the game, which was annoying. But I do expect Giolito to have a decent start here against an offense that just isn't good. And the real question is will the Red Sox hit? The Red Sox hitting has been so-so to say the least. I'll tell you guys right now, in the month of May, as I update my split against righties here real quick, month of May, they are 25th, 87 weighted runs created plus. I mean, look at this total. It's an 8 with these pitchers on the bump here, the two pitchers that don't really excite you. So I do lean under in a game where Fenway, especially in Fenway Park, that total is just ridiculously low. But I didn't want to move on this game, so I ended up passing.
That's nice. That's helpful for us if this game moves to tomorrow for the work being done. Spooner, is there anything you want to touch on Orioles Red Sox before we move on to our final MLB game on the card before NBA and WNBA?
I really wanted this first 5 under last night. I was looking at the game, and just the weather forecast kind of kept me off of it. This line's come down, but Cade Povich is a pitcher that I look to improve on his performance so far this year. I think he has the ability to go out there and versus lineups that aren't in the top half of the league, I think he can do pretty well. Red Sox scare me a little bit. If you look the last 2 weeks versus lefties, they're top 5, and on the season, they're top 5 versus lefties. Lucas Giolito, on the other hand, I know a lot of people don't like him, call him a bum or whatnot, but it's a guy that's had pretty good success in his career versus left-hand hitters, and I think that's exactly the kind of pitcher you need to have success against this Orioles lineup. Even though it's cold, it's going to get hot eventually, and you need to be able to handle your lefties to get through it. So I just thought with these two considered bums on the mound, we might be able to get some good value with that first 5 under. Fenway right now, when it's cold and you get the wind blowing in, it's a really hard park to score in. As this place warms up and weather changes, you're going to see runs. But colder days, I like these unders. I'm off. If you give me Giolito versus this Orioles lineup, I think he can pitch. I know a lot of people are going to look to fade him. I don't think that's the thing to do.
Doesn't look like the game will go today, but we'll be capping these pitchers tomorrow. So good to put some groundwork into it. Let's move on to our final spot on the board. This is a spot Spooner has moved on the side. Bobano has moved on the over 8.5, and so has Justin McKelvey. Stacks play day number 2. We're in Daikin Park in Houston, Texas. Mariners 15-9 on the road, being a good road team, 8 games over 500. Astros 25-24, but 15-9 at home, 6 games over 500. AM on the under 8.5, going heads up against Bobano. We have George Kirby and Lance McCullers. I cannot believe that I didn't cash, and it was, I thought McCullers was going to be much better, and he was, and I didn't cash the under 8.5 in that game. There was a 6-run inning by the Astros in the 6th or 7th inning, and it really, really bothered me. And the Orioles. Sorry, yeah, my bad. Sorry, I'm tripping there. I was thinking of. Sorry, my bad. Orioles over 8.5. Sorry, my bad. Stacks. I was thinking about this Mariners Astros thing, but we don't think it's going to go at this point, Justin. But yeah, thank you for that. Sorry, my bad. Trick B says, I like the Astros fading Kirby on his first day back. So I don't put, again, when I watch pitchers phenomenal in their rehab starts, they get touched. I don't know how. I think the most important thing about what Kirby did in that final rehab start was his fastball got up to 97.5 miles per hour. He allowed 4 runs on 10 hits in 4 innings. It really doesn't bother me that much. He only threw 64 pitches. So, we're dealing with right shoulder inflammation. But Lance McCullers pitched better. 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. They weren't earned. 2 Ks, 1 walk. If you cut that, he's only pitched 1/3 of an inning at home this year, and he allowed 7 earned runs versus the Reds. I mean, that's got to kind of be an outlier situation here. Robert Cherry says, give me Kirby in this spot. And this is Robert Cherry's nickname in grammar school, Kirby. Lefties against Lance McCullers and righties are hitting him very hard again. If you take that third of an inning out, the stats are very different. I don't know what to do with Lance McCullers, and I often stick up for pitchers when there's no reason to do so, and it can cost me my bankroll. Mariners versus righties last 30 days, 236, 708 OPS. Astros versus righties. There we go. Thank you, Justin. Need more of that. Astros versus righties, 267, 745 OPS. And both bullpens have been very good. They've been very good. So let's take a look at the line history here. I can understand the under 8.5 that AM is on. There is some concerns, though, with McCullers, getting destroyed in that third of an inning, and then Kirby not, pitching up in the big leagues and dealing with the shoulder inflammation. This over 8.5 open at -108. It's at -108. It has not moved, so we've not moved on the over. And then on the money line here, we have the Mariners -131. That's exactly where they opened. It got up to -138 at midnight. There's not been very much movement here. So let's hear from you, Mr. Spooner. Mariners taking on the Astros. Little AL West action in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, we got George Kirby versus Lance McCullers, two pitchers that a few years ago people were really, really high on. Looks like Toronto just tied it up for you, Jim. Are you on the over in that or Toronto?
Just the first 5 over 4.5.
5 over 4.5. Just need one more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So McCullers obviously coming back from injury, would not necessarily sure what to expect so far. What I see is a guy who hasn't thrown 9 innings of baseball yet, but has already thrown 7 walks. He pitched to Cincinnati, and it was a third of an inning, and that was terrible. Obviously, he looked decent versus the White Sox, and he looked all right versus Texas at home. But I got to put asterisks next to those. We're talking about the White Sox, one of the worst lineups in baseball, and Texas at home has been just an under for everybody. Everybody's cashing all the unders in Texas at home. So I don't see either of those as spots where I need to worry about McCullers. I think this is a guy that hasn't found the zone yet. I don't think he's completely ready to be pitching. I think the Astros need him to be pitching here right now. On the other side, I see Kirby, one of my favorite pitchers in baseball. This guy really controls the zone. When he's locked in, he gets strikeouts. He doesn't walk people. The people he puts on base are the people he wants to put on base because he doesn't want to throw them a pitch they can hit. I see the Astros bullpen. They have most of their arms can go tonight. Obviously, Seattle's bullpen's not in the best spot, but I think their closer's ready to go. And I believe Matt Brash and Gabe Spear are both going to be there as well. I think Kirby's going to be in this game for about 80 pitches. And George Kirby can go 6 innings with 80 pitches. More likely, he's going to go 5 innings. I think if he goes 5 innings, I get this cash. I don't want to hand the bullpen 6 innings worth of work. I don't want to hand him 5 innings worth of work, but I think 4 innings worth of work Mariners bullpen can take care of today. These are two lineups that perform a lot differently, like when they're at home versus on the road. The Astros perform better at home, and the Mariners perform better on the road. Every time they hit the road, I look for their bats to just do better. They play in a really pitcher-friendly ballpark, and it's just frustrating as a hitter to have to face that. So you give me Lance McCullers, a guy that's throwing some meatballs in some hitters' opinions over there in Cincinnati, and a pitcher in George Kirby, who I'm not scared is going to give up very many runs. This is a very obvious Mariners spot, in my opinion. I don't understand the Astros scoring here. A lot of people are hoping that their best hitter is going to be coming back, but he's dealing with hand inflammation, and they've made it very clear that he's not going to be coming off the IL until all the inflammation in his hand is gone and he's ready to be where he's at. Jordan Alvarez has talked about the psychological effects of dealing with that injury already this season, and they just want to get past that. So I think the Astros are in a tough spot, 17 games, 17 days. You got to see a really good pitcher in George Kirby with a Mariners team that wants this win here today. The book's got it priced like this for a reason.
Yeah, I get it. It's probably, both teams, Seattle's been a great road team this year, better on the road than they've been at home. So, but I let's hear what Jose has to say. Jose, are you expecting Lance McCullers to, Yeah, we haven't seen this guy since what, 2022? Is that right? Was it? Yeah, because he missed 2023, missed 2024.
Yeah, he's cooked. He's cooked in my head. I don't believe in him. I mean, sure, 4 innings, 2 runs not earned against the Texas Rangers team that, unfortunately for me and my, futures bets and such, I don't think are going to be very much a competitor. I don't believe in the guy. I just was a little surprised to see how high this total was too. Expected like an 8, 7.5 around there. I short Kirby's first start back. If you guys watch this show in the last few years, you guys will know that he's one of my favorite pitchers in the league to watch, to bet on. I mean, he just fills up the zone, throws strikes, but I don't like betting on for pitchers making their debut and all that good stuff. So I'll stay off this game. I'll just reiterate the market here for us here. About 50-50 split tickets and money-wise on the money line, 51 and 52. On Seattle, 69% of the bets are on the under, but 80% of the money is on the over in this game. I can see why. I could easily see why this is an over game. I don't trust Lance McCullers. I think he gets touched up, and this is Kirby's first start of the year. So I could see it, but no action here for me.
His splits were a little better last year than I thought. I guess I just have a vividness bias of him struggling on the road.
I just want to mention one thing about Kirby. I've heard some people across the betting spaces talking about how he got roughed up in AAA or whatnot. He's pitching in the PCL down there. These are the worst pitchers or worst parks for a pitcher to pitch in. I think he's going to be fine. Like you mentioned, his fastball velocity is back where it needs to be. When these guys are going down to minor leagues, they're not looking to go out there and win the game. They're looking to see if I can throw my pitch in this spot. And sometimes a minor leaguer is able to take advantage of him throwing the ball 6 times in the same spot, trying to figure out how I can get my 2-seamer to work like this or curve. I don't think those numbers are that important as far as I'm getting hit a little bit. I think the important numbers are the velocity being up there and all the spin rates being where they need to be.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I mean, I say that off the top. It has not worked for me in the past, expecting the pitcher who is spectacular and his re-up starts to follow that up. So, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with the rest of the card, because if I can get cash the under 7.5, I've already cashed the first 3 under 2, and if I can cash that first 5 over 3.5, first 5 over 4.5, my record is I was looking at my record. I mean, it's not. I'm not comfortable. Whereas I would like to go 3-0 and shut down and take that money and look at that money and throw that money up in the air and call people asshole for no reason. And that's what I would like to do. So let's go over afternoon action and see what kind of additions we're going to have. Because I understand a lot of this action that you guys have. Bobano on the over 11, Jose on the Rockies money line. Bobano on the Angels in the over 10.5, Jose on the Angels first 5 and full game. And I understand it. We have the spreadsheet play today on the Detroit Tigers. Morgan Spooner on the Tigers -1 at +105. The Nationals money line is a Skunt Blaster spot. Bobano's on the Pirates. I have some interest in that first 300, but I shouldn't. And then the Spooner on the Braves -1. I kind of think that it's a sneaky spot for Trevor Williams, but I don't need to invest in it if I'm sitting here 3-0. And then Orioles, Red Sox, we don't think the game's going to go. Bobano on the over 8.5 in Mariners, Astros, and Spooner on the Mariners money line. Excellent work here, Morgan, my man. We're very excited about your new show on Sundays, walk-off wagers with Wine Time. I love what you guys have done through 2 shows. So keep up the great work. Please support Spooner, our guy on X. I'm going to pop his X handle in the chat. Let's grow that support group on X for our guy Spooner. Please, repost his action and support him over there. Spooner, did I miss any of your action? And do you have any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
No, you got all my action. Padres money line, Tigers -1, Braves -1, and the Mariners money line. Definitely excited to keep things going with Wine Time on the weekends. Thoughts and prayers out to you, Wine Time, my guy. I'm really sorry to hear about that. I think it's going to be a really fun time this MLB season with him over there on Sundays. This Sunday, we're going to be joined by Rod Zawacki. He's going to go through a lot of the card with us. So I'm really excited about that as well. I think it's going to be a good time. Jimmy, as always, great working with you. Great to hear from you, all your opinions. Best of luck. I want to see you just stay in the hottest cap I've ever seen. It's been unreal to watch, and I'm not ready to watch it go away. So turn today into a winning day. I like what you're saying about I'm already up 3-0. There's no reason to give them any chances to get anything back. Keep it up, Jimmy. Great work. Jose, you're doing a great job as well. Love you guys. Everybody have a great day. Good luck. Bet responsibly and win some motherfucking money. Enjoy it.
There he is, Mr. Spooner. Jose Bouquett, stick with me here for NBA and WNBA, if you don't mind. I cannot wait to cap this next game in NBA. But do you want to review your action in MLB? I know I went over it, but do you want to add anything to your final action in Major League Baseball after a great day yesterday?
No. Great day. Angels bring it home. If the Angels do what I hope they do, we'll hopefully be freewheeling and hoping the Rockies win. So that'll be nice. But those 3 bets, let's talk basketball.
Let's talk basketball. There is one player that is affecting me backing the Timberwolves today, and that's Rudy Gobert. And I need to hear from you guys. We need to break this game down and decide what exactly are the Wolves going to do if Gobert is useless out there. So, Jose, let's set up this Wolves Thunder game, Paycom Center, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I can't wait to hear everybody's thoughts and plans with it because it's a spot that I've been keeping myself from backing the Wolves because of the Rudy Gobert situation. And I want to see with my own eyes what they do. And I know that it means Naz Reid will play a lot, but Saturday says Rudy and Naz should be ashamed. Rudy is a problem right now, a real problem. And if he's useless, then I might have to wait till you go back to Minnesota. Jose, set us up here for Game 2, Timberwolves Thunder.
Yeah, market seemingly expecting that Minnesota bounce back here with 58% of the bets on the Oklahoma City Thunder, 50-50 each way money-wise, and I'm seeing this open up at an 8. I need to go to my other site here to check the line movement, but at odds saying it opened up at an 8. I'm seeing 8 juice towards Minnesota here, already now down to a 7.5 here, so that's very interesting there. There's 66% of the bets and 81% of the money on the under in this game here. 2 here, and we also have this total going from 214 to 217. Wow. So a lot of under bets here and the line going up, and up. So that's fascinating. It feels like Oklahoma City would win in a game when it means, or will win an over game, and if it stays under Minnesota. Maybe I'm wrong there. I know obviously Oklahoma City is the defensive juggernaut, so maybe I am. But Jimmy, would love to hear your thoughts on this game. Oklahoma City up 1-0.
I find it very difficult for whatever reason to back a big favorite at home in both games 1 and 2. I've noticed that when this goes down to 7, it gets immediately the Thunder get bet immediately. So, but people are betting the Timberwolves at 7.5. We have the respect play today from Rez Mob. It's Timberwolves first quarter +2. Says OKC's lost 4 straight first quarters as home favorites. We got our guy True Allah 4th and 1, Holmgren double, and Gobert under PRA. We've already heard from Saturated that he's fading Rudy with the PRA in a parlay, the under there. Stacks play today on Ant, 25+ points. And Fernando Mendoza says kind of want to go back to the Thunder. Ross Pitts on the Thunder. Benjamin Mills on the Thunder. If you see a 7, you have to attack it immediately, because each time it's dropped to 7, it's come right back to 7.5. So let's get to work here on the breakdown. The pace of play in game 1 was 97 possessions a game, which is right in between, like perfectly in the middle. The Wolves had played at 94.77 through the playoffs, while the Thunder played at 100.83. So it's right in between. The Timberwolves shot poorly, 34.9 from the field, 29.4 from 3. And Saturated says the Timberwolves may be too one-dimensional. The Thunder shot 50% from the field and 52.4% from 3. I mean, it's easy to not expect them to hit those numbers again. Shea went off in the second half, 20 of his 31 points. They were available at minus 115 on the money line there late in the first half. At halftime, it was a little more expensive, minus 125 or minus 130. They were, 1.5 point favorites. And there was times, though, they were 1.5 point dogs if you timed it right. 114-88 beatdown game 1 of the Western Conference. And I felt there was a similar thing going on in that Knicks-Pacers game, where the Knicks, I thought, were taking over in the fourth quarter. Of course, that was fool's gold. Shea went 8 of 14 in the second half, and they shut down the Wolves, and Wolves scored 40 points in the second half. Jalen Williams was all over the place defensively, had 5 steals, and the Timberwolves had 19 turnovers, and the Thunder were great with all those turnovers, put up 31 points with the turnovers. Julius Randle went for 28. But 20 in the first half. He disappeared in the second half, as did everybody else. Anthony Edwards, averaging 26.5 points per game, held to 18 points and only took 13 shots. He went 5 of 13 from the field. And in this situation, back earlier in the playoffs, I moved on Edwards over his point total. And I thought about doing the same thing here. And I haven't, because I lost that bet on Ant here. In 38 career playoff games, Edwards has taken less than 13 shots once in 38 games. So he says after the game, he's like, look, I'm going to shoot the ball more. And so I imagine that, a lot of people will be moving towards his props. But I honestly, my whole plan was to be on the Timberwolves here in game 2, when I thought it would come out at the same number, and I have cold feet, and it's because of Rudy Gobert. I mean, the word that's been, hanging around Gobert after game 1 of the conference finals is he's unplayable. And that I didn't put that into my script, that you can't even have Gobert out there. 2 points, 3 rebounds in 21 minutes. McDaniels getting that 4th foul in the start of the third quarter. I mean, it was a huge problem. And Shea, that's what Shea's going to do to McDaniels. Shea's going to get him into foul trouble and make sure that McDaniels isn't there to shut Shea down. All of Shea's explosion offensively happened when McDaniels was on the bench. And so now McDaniels knows that. Is there anything he can do to keep that from happening? Also, I mean, DiVincenzo is playing awful out there. He's shooting 25% from 3 in the playoffs. I mean, this was a guy who shot just under 40% in the regular season, and I was like, you expect him to shoot better than 39.7. Naz Reid was horrific. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was bad. Reid, Vincenzo, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker combined to shoot 7 of 36. Still, even saying all that, he did lick the mic. Thank you. Dougie Wise saying Shea is overrated as fuck. Yeah, I mean, you can be angrier when he wins the MVP again next year, but at this point, I don't think I can move on the Timberwolves. And the more I sit with it, the more I'm starting to think that I should flip and that the Thunder are the bet here. I really do. Let's go back here to the action from Cappers in the chat, because I was copying and pasting all of the action from the top. So again, Stacks play the day number 3's and 25 plus points, minus 110. Then we had our guy Spenny Penny Bombs here. Spenny Penny Bombs moved on Ant for the double at plus 350. 7 rebounds, 7 assists at plus 525. Shea, 7 rebounds, 7 assists at plus 425. Jalen Williams, 5 rebounds, 7 assists at plus 550. Joe Yurkovich took the Timberwolves team total over 103.5. There's my guy, Michael DeMaria. I missed that off the hop. Nice to see you, Mikey. And then we have Respect Play Today, first quarter plus 2. Saturated says the Timberwolves team total under is the play. And Samit says adjustments. I can't emphasize it enough in this spot. So let me ask you guys in the chat, what are the adjustments you can use? I mean, what Naz Reid better step up and play a great basketball game because Rudy's becoming unplayable.
God damn it.
What happened?
The Blue Jays got out of a bases jam here. Men on the corners.
Damn,
it was a close play at first.
There's been a lot of traffic on the paths in that one. Huh. So with all this being said, I guess I want to watch this, but I don't see how we don't move on the Thunder again. And that was not the plan. So I guess I'm going to flip here. I guess I'm going to bet the Thunder again. It just seems like there's too many issues here with the Timberwolves. And is really it like, okay, let's say Ant goes for 35 points in this one. Everybody else is not stepping up. Ant could go for 35 and they could score under 100 points.
For sure.
So after talking it all out, I think that we go back to the well with the Thunder. Dougie Y says Naz Reid not shooting 0 for 9 from 3 again. I agree with that. Spenny says Mini wants to hook up 50 plus threes a game. It's not going to be the answer. They have no scoring down low because Gobert sucks ass and they were killed plus 30 points in the paint. Treek says live bet on OKC when they're down any point in the game has been working for me. Oh, I'll definitely do that. I'll double down. There's Deacon Mike in the house. Great to see you, Deacon. So we've talked it out, and I'm going back to the Thunder. And that was not the plan coming in. I the whole time I thought I was going to move on the Timberwolves. The question is, we watch what the Timberwolves do here, the adjustments that have to be made, and then we decide whether or not we even want them in Minnesota in Game 3. WY says DiVincenzo not playing a worse game this series. DiVincenzo's been bad all playoffs long. Kong says, here's the thing. OKC had a bad game. They played like shit for 3/4 of the game, and they finished the series in 5. AM says, I don't know anything about the NBA, but I'd think over today. I agree with that, AM, because the idea is Rudy's not going to play very much. So it's going to do a lot of things. It's going to give the Timberwolves more opportunities offensively, but the paint is going to be clogged down by this fucking mic-licking buffoon. Wow. Okay. So I flipped. I'm going back to the Thunder. I guess they have them right where they want them. And coming into this series, I was not sitting here thinking Gobert was going to be a complete waste of space. So let's just go back. I want to see the cash flow on the side here.
While you do that, I have to charge my computer, so I'll be right back.
Okay. We had Jose talk about the cash flow here over a wager. 59% of the tickets, 52% of the cash in Oklahoma City. And I get it, I get it. And then here you have 40% of tickets, 41% of cash on Minnesota. All right. WY says McDaniels needs to put his big boy pants on. I mean, that's the problem here. The way I see it is that Shea is that perfect kind of Jake McDaniels is a phenomenal defender. But Shea has an ability to get you in foul trouble. And when McDaniels is off the floor, Shea goes off. Saturated says you should wait till he comes in. I'll live bet him. Jerry Davis says, are we overreacting on Gobert? That's a good question, Jerry. But if he is a waste of space and he can't be used, I don't think the problem is that it puts too much pressure on Naz Reid. I think he's a great basketball player who can handle it, but it takes a lot of what makes the Timberwolves a tough team to play away. Spooner says OKC winning the chip, in my opinion. I mean, God, a Thunder Pacers final would be absolutely wild. Rob Free says those fouls SGA draws is on another level. Reminds me of the old James Harden. Okay. I'm flipping. I'm going to bet the Thunder. I'm going to try to time it right. If I can get a 7, I don't think it will last long. If this closes at a 6.5, I'll be concerned. Okay, let's move on to the WNBA now, because these are fascinating spots. So let's roll on here. A little disappointed. I'm sitting here 3-3. AM says, I doubt you see a 7. I doubt it too, because we've seen it twice and it leaves immediately. Robert Franklin on the Thunder again. God, my whole life, other than horse racing, the NHL has, always been my favorite. There was a time when baseball took over, but last night it was so hard to not focus on the Pacers Knicks game, over the Oilers Stars game. It's so dramatic. There's so much going on. I can't wait to watch the Thunder tonight. Let's roll into the WNBA here for this one, because these games are absolutely this is so interesting. And I really want to hear you guys' thoughts, because I've moved on one bet. I was hoping the line would go with me. It hasn't, but I'm ready to move on a couple more. So let's roll into the Indiana Fever Atlanta Dream here with State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Ron Crawford has moved on the under 174. I think it's a sharp look. But I will tell you this. Everybody, and I mean everybody, is on the Indiana Fever. Everybody. The initial line at 3.5 actually moved to a 3 at first. And then it's just rolling to the Fever. And I had expected, when I was on Atlanta first quarter and full game, Atlanta wins outright. When they were going to play 2 nights later, I was going to be on the Fever. And I had capped this game, and I was very curious to see what was going to happen with the line. And then, if you look at articles or anything online, every single article, everyone is on the Indiana Fever. Let's go over the line history here, because I really want to bet against it, but I'm comfortable just staying off of this game. We are sitting here now. Wow, back to a 4 at some books. It looks like it's going to go back to a 4. Wow, and it got up to Jesus. How did I not see that? Because I stopped looking at it around 7 in the morning. It had moved to 4.5. This got up to 5.5 and then back to 4. The stats are so interesting in this spot. Indiana, I think the books are going to make a killing when Indiana does not menace today. This total is a 173. This total's been all over the place. It opened up at 171. It got up to 175 before it came back down to 171 and then up to 173. I don't want to mess with that. The Fever opened up their season with that dominant 93-58 home win over the Chicago Sky. And then they followed that up with that very tight 91-90 loss at home to the Dream on Tuesday. This is the issue. Atlanta did not shoot the ball well. The Indiana Fever shot the ball extremely well. They shot 48.5% from the field and 47.1% from 3. That's a good question, Phil the Kill. I had 8 cappers that I saw were on the Fever and 0 on the Dream. So 8 and 0 was the numbers that I had. And it was one after another, after another, after another. And also the breakdowns that I was looking at were very simple. They were very simple. Just an expectation of zigzag, a belief that what the Fever did to the Sky in game 1 is who the Fever really are. The Fever shot 48.5% from the field and 47.1% from three. And they lose at home. Atlanta shot 26.7% from three. And they were in control in the fourth quarter before they kind of made some boneheaded plays. They only shot 42.6% from the field. The Dream out-rebounded the Fever 37-32. And you're going to get that with Howard and Griner. Howard and Griner can play with Clark and Aaliyah Boston. You have Kelsey Mitchell obviously helping, and Natasha Howard capable of getting some boards. Alicia Gray, Brittany Griner, and then you have Brianna Jones here. So this move back to the Dream with everybody on the Fever, every single article, I challenge you. I challenge you to find one article on the internet that has the Dream. Every single article you will find is on the Indiana Fever. Every single one that I saw. You have 92% of tickets and 87% of cash on the Indiana Fever. And it went up to 5.5. And what happened? The Sharps hammered the Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream, this is not a spot where they're fat and happy, because they know that if they're playing Caitlin Clark, all eyes are going to be on them. And they've also developed some sort of a jealousy. A lot of these players are a hate towards Caitlin Clark. Oh, thank God. Did I? Oh, God, yes.
Oh, yeah, your first five, yeah, you cashed that a while ago. No.
Oh, thank you, guys. Okay, so, that means a lot to me, Resmob. Thank you, my man. Yes, we can, Nasty Nate. Yes, we can.
No,
So
you cannot call them skinny.
I am going to move on the Atlanta Dream, and I've screwed it up. I didn't realize I was so focused on the MLB card and everything and for the prep that I didn't know it had gone up to 5.5. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be on the Atlanta Dream. I want a 5 or 4.5. I expect that to happen. So I'm no zigzag for me. Ron Crawford on the under, and I am going to be on the Atlanta Dream. And again, I'm telling you, every single person there, every person, every article, everybody's on the Fever. And it's simple capping. There's no X's and O's. And when you look at the X's, and Scumblaster says, take the money line. I love that. I still kind of going to grab the points because they did look they were a little bumbly. They were screwing stuff up there in the last, few minutes. And so I still want the points, and I'll still take the points. But look at the numbers. Look at what the Fever did, and they couldn't win against Atlanta at home. And everyone just expecting a simple zigzag. So I'm going to be on the Dream, and I will be on the Dream full game. Just one unit, full game. Let's move on to the New York Liberty Chicago Sky, Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois. No, Samit, I would not. I would not. If it's the intangibles that allow Atlanta to beat Indiana, despite 15, 20 extra points that the Fever scored from three, it means that I would prefer to have the full game rather than the first half. Daniel Hernandez says all trends point to the Timberwolves. Don't get fooled. You're right, Daniel Hernandez. Trends point to the Timberwolves. The trends point to the Timberwolves and zigzag and plus $7.5. You're right. And I don't care. I'm not. It's not about being fooled. It's about what do you watch and what are you going to invest in. Yeah. Okay. Let's roll with Liberty Sky here. Wintrust. Saturday says, would you consider the WNBA chalky in general? I haven't been capping it hard for long enough to give any kind of sweeping generalizations. And we'll see, if I'm putting energy and effort into it, how it works, because our record will be up every day. So, we saw 3 dogs win last night. It doesn't matter. I'm not deep enough in the game to drop any kind of sweeping generalizations. I'm going to take it day by day and see how I do. Let's go to this New York Liberty Chicago Sky spot. So I was really hoping that we'd get back to this spot here today, and I'd see an 11 or even a 10.5 on the Chicago Sky to give us the idea that this is a real live bet. Jose, why don't you set us up here for New York Liberty, Chicago Sky, and then I'll hammer it home.
Sure. I'll tell you guys about the market here. We have, let me see here, 80% of the bets on the New York Liberty, the reigning defending champions, but the money on the spread is pretty split. 51% of the money on New York there. So big bets, seemingly 20%. And I can do this math, 20% of the tickets and 49% of the money on Chicago. They're very interesting. Total wise, 64% of the bets and 87% of the money on the under in this game.
This is a must bet spot on the Chicago Sky. The way I see it, it almost is like an NFL spot because there's been 5 days off. There's been 5 days of the Chicago Sky, sitting in this loss, this horrific loss. So you saw this line down to a 10 this morning, Jerry? Wow. I mean, that's what I was praying to see. I moved on the 11.5 last night expecting it. So we'll start with this guy. They were humiliated. Absolutely humiliated. 93-58 loss. They shoot 29.1% from the field. Vandersloot looks old and terrible.
By the way, Jimmy, sorry to interrupt. Penny had this at 10.5 at several points today as well.
Really?
Yeah. This morning at like 8 a.m. they had it. At 7 a.m. they had it. Yeah. At several points.
I see it now. Fuck. That's what I was praying I would. And it was back at that 8:30. This move back to 12 is dangerous. It sounds dangerous, and it makes me nervous. Because I was planning on adding the Chicago Sky first half. But let's go back. Vandersloot being so bad, and her being 36 years old, she's the right kind of player to lead them into this next game. They've been sitting in this embarrassment for so long. Again, just like with the Fever, every single article, every single person is on the Liberty. Both teams haven't played since Saturday, so it's been off for a while. The Liberty have a very impressive 92-78 home win over the Aces. They feel great about themselves. Natasha Cloud looks 22-6-9 with Ionescu, Stewart, and Jones. I mean, they look like, there's going to be some teams that can mess with them, but they certainly look like the number one team here in the league. And then the 3 of the 4 games so Liberty won 3 games, they lost 1. All 3 games that they beat Chicago Sky last year, and you'll see it in every article, they all talk about, they're all double-digit wins. It's going to be another double-digit win. This is where you want to back a dog. It's after they've been embarrassed, and the Liberty, the champions rolling in, they just beat the Aces at home. They feel good about themselves. This is where I want to back a team after being humiliated and sitting there for 5 days thinking about it. They're going to play their very best game. The problem here is, I would have to double down on the Chicago Sky. And I told myself if this was less than 11.5, it would be an easy double down. Now that it's went down from 10.5 and back up to 12, it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me very uncomfortable. So I will decide whether or not I double down. I'm already on this guy, plus 11.5. And I wanted to add the first half. You also then at that point have to ask yourself, is there a sign from the market that the Chicago Sky are more alive in the first half? This looks like it's going to 12.5, which is probably gets me off the first half. But the first half is a 6.5. And that first half looks like it's going to go to 7. I wanted a sign from the market whether or not I should double down, and I'm not going to. Yeah, it turns out it was wild. Spooner says coaching has to matter so much in WA, getting 4 days regularly to prepare for your opponents. I agree with that, but I also think the idea of this guy sitting in the humiliation is going to help them. So there we go. I will decide whether or not I double down. That's it. I will decide whether or not I double down, and I'll go from there. And also AM Penny never went to 10 either. They only went 10.5. SBK says definitely feeling that Liberty first half against the spread. Look, the whole world is going to be on the Liberty. That's why if it closed at 10.5 or 11, it was a perfect double down spot. If this closes at 13, then maybe I shouldn't. I'll make that decision. I'm already on the Sky plus 11.5, and I will be moving on the Atlanta Dream, and I hopefully time that right. Ron Crawford on the under 174 is his play today in the Dream game. There we go. Turnsy, I'm on the Hurricanes -1 with confidence, and I'm on the under 5.5, and I beat that line by 15 cents. So there you go. I'm going to have to figure that out here. I guess if this closes at 12.5 or 13, I'm not going to double down and just deal with the consequences that come. But I will be on the Atlanta Dream. And again, the whole world's on the Fever and the Liberty. And as we know, it just doesn't work like that. So that is the WNBA for Thursday, May 22nd. And, we're only betting these at 200 a pop, but I need proof that this is something that I can beat before I want to add to that. All right, there we go. Jose, it is time to race for our PSR Gold members. Are we? Oh, well, nice. We're bringing the horses here. We thank you to all our Gold members. $50 on the line here. How many Gold members do we have?
We have 73 Gold members. Shout out to you guys. Make sure you've got your resubscribe on and all that good stuff. And thanks to the 73 Gold members. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun race here, and thank you for supporting us here at Pub Sports Radio. Let's race, Jose.
Let's race, indeed. It's beautiful outside. The sun is shining. It's 103 degrees in San Antonio, Texas, and it is hot as fuck. Helga, TJ, Chris Boggin, and Philly Eagle Flyer in the mix here. Nuke Worker down below. Try to make a charge. Gorky in there as well as Jose Bouquett. Kong's Clips doesn't give a fuck about baseball, but he's in the mix as well as Zoe Faye in there. But Philly Eagle Flyer holding strong, Jimmy, holding strong.
Big Zoe making a move. Philly Eagle Flyer is holding strong. Jose Bouquet, not so much. Not so much. Ricky Levine making a move, and there's Higgsy. Sean Higgs also up in action. AM also. Look at AM moving forwardly. AM trying to get in. We're getting to the last furlong, and AM still making strides in. And there goes Salty Pete. Salty Pete with a huge run down the middle of the track. It looks like that is the speed angle. And the Higgs and Salty Pete and Ricky Bobby and Gorky, $50 richer. Gorky, it is your first win, and you've earned it and deserved it. Gorky, spectacular work. Salty Pete second, MMA Mad Hatter third, Bo Jackson fourth, Ricky Bobby fifth, Jason Mivey, Eldorado Custodian sixth, Sean Higgs seventh, Fernando Mendoza eighth, Big T ninth, Oldie 10th, and Nasty Nate nowhere to be found. Nasty Nate, nowhere to be. Oh, no, there he is. There he is, right in the mix there. Shout out to Gorky. Great job, Gorky, my friend. Congratulations. Add that to your bankroll, my friend.
Yeah, big time.
And get that cash, man. Get that cash. Let's do a lot of... Oh, Saturate wants to shut his horse down, man. No, man. No. You got to win in your Saturate. I know you do.
Saturate, I think you need to go the opposite way. I think you need a second horse saturated. You need to start establishing more, horses in your stable.
I like that. I like that a lot. Let's review action here today on Thursday, May 22nd. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do in baseball is shut down.
I love it. It's my favorite Jimmy the Bag thing.
Look, winning is too important. It's too important.
What's your baseball unit size again? 300, 350? I forget.
250.
250. So yeah, an easy 500 right there.
I'm 3-0.
3-0. So there you go.
So it's like, like 690. Actually, it's not quite true. The juice I took the over 4.5 instead of the 5. So it's a little less than that. But
we'll take it. A $600 day is a nice day.
Well, it's just a start because we got hockey and basketball action. But look, I'm shutting down. I'm shutting down. So I'll tell you what I thought about moving on that I'm not going to move on. First off, I'm on the Hurricanes -1 at +134 and Florida Carolina under 5.5 at -115. There's a lot of people who believe, and it's totally fair, that the -127 or -130 should just be bet on the money line, especially in a game where there's implied low volatility. And if my unit size was higher, I would do that. But my NHL side of $300 again. I was going 1.5 units with that Dallas Edmonton run. I'm not 1.5 units here, so I prefer the score, and I'm on the under 5.5 here. I thought I got that at -110, but I didn't. I got it -115. In my head, I thought I got that -110. So I've only beaten that line by less than I had said. Bobano on Carolina, first period goal at -145 and Panthers team, total over 2.5 -112. Then in Major League Baseball, we have a BJ and Dougie Wise. BJ, best bet, Timberwolves +7.5, 5 units. We have Dougie Wise. The play of the day from our guy, Dougie Wise, is the Minnesota Timberwolves. A lot of people on the Timberwolves night expected to be on it as well. I'm not. Kong saying, I think it's a beautiful spot for Carolina. I hope so. We have wine time on the Angels money line, Blue Jays money line, Boston, Baltimore under 8. That game's not going to go. And there's Gorky. Congratulations, Gorky.
Broke my maiden.
Congratulations, Gorky. I can't wait. We're going to hang out with Gorky up at Woodbine. We're getting the
He's bleeding all over the place. His maidenhead has been destroyed.
I love it. I love it. We have Robert Cherry's on both sides. He's on Panthers and the over 5.5. Part of the fun, Robert. And I know if I lose, then you'll win, and that'll make me rest easier. Bobano on the over 11 in Philadelphia, Colorado. Jose on the Rockies +240. Bobano on the Angels in the over 10.5. Jose on the Angels first 5 and full game. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is Detroit Tigers, and Spooner is on the Tigers. I thought about having interest in the first 3 under in Milwaukee, Pittsburgh. Cut it. Bobano on the Pirates +104. I have interest in the Nats first 5 +0.5. Cut it. Spooner on the Braves -1 at -122. Orioles Red Sox going to be postponed. Bobano on the over 8.5 in Mariners Astros, and Spooner on the Mariners. The respect play today is the Timberwolves first quarter +2 at -112. And then in NBA, I flipped. Wanted to talk it out with you guys, and I talked it out and I flipped. I'm going to be on the Oklahoma City Thunder full game, 1 unit. I'm going to keep it clean. And then I'm waiting to move on the Dream. I'll do that at some point. And then I'll let the market sort of dictate whether I add the first half on the Chicago Sky. And that is our action today. Did I miss any of your action there, Jose?
I don't think so. Only 3 bets. So
okay,
it's easy. And 2 of them in 1 game. So it's nice. It's tough when other people are now saying that I didn't add your horse into the race. Yeah, that's when you're in a bad time when it comes to horse racing. So I hope you're all right over there, Nasty Nate.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. He brings a lot of fun to the show, and we love him. Shout out to Nasty Nate, Big Daddy Boom, last one left, Big Zo, Robert Cherry, Ronnie Lofton, Gorky breaking his maiden, Deacon Mike, Tex Styles. Shout out to Tex Styles, great capper there. It says Red Sox first 5 just got voided, so there will be no game. Slow Jams, Arsenal, thank you. Tariq B, thank you. Johnny Guns, Saturated, Some Meat, Ronnie Lofton, Spooner, SBK, Top Set, AM. Thank you guys. Turnsy, Nunya. Thank you. Nunya on the Angels money line. Dodgers -1.5. Need OKC in the over 214.5. Hurricanes money line cash 25-1. Let's get it. Let's get it. Joseph Gomez. Daniel Hernandez, Minnesota bounce back. A lot of you're in great you're great company. Those of you who are on the Timberwolves, you're in great company. And just because I, got away from it, it doesn't mean anything. Trust yourself. Look, I was on the Knicks last night, so Jerry Davis, thank you. All of you guys, thank you so much for your support. And Jose, thank you, my friend. Thank you to Bobano and Morgan Spooner. Leroy, thank you. Big Daddy Boom, aka Leon, Mr. Know-It-All, thank you. Jose, and thank you for all your hard work. Jose, do you mind blessing our action and leading us into the future?
Yeah, I wish everyone the best of luck. It'd be nice. One of my lofty goals in my life is to have a perfect week when it comes to this show and just win every bet I have in 1 week. So we're on the path. Let's do it again today, and let's leche aid los bookmakers.